kind of that's always kind of the problem with two-factor is that you can like lock yourself out. I think Naya did that to himself. That's why it's other.
That shit fucking sucks.
Yeah, 100%. We're swearing in the first minute. We're getting demonetized.
Darn, I can't make my money now.
Yeah. Well, you know, people can always just super chat. You know, they can then give us the good old.
Wait, you didn't start the stream, did you?
I just did. Yeah.
You're an actual fucking retard.
I literally said I was going to start streaming right now because this is much funnier of an intro.
I don't give a fuck up, man. You're a fucking listen, man. You're gonna get like -1 sex this fucking year, bro.
A -1 cent, yeah.
You're gonna revert back to your virginity, bro.
What's up, Tanner? What's up, Martin Chaos? What's up, Just Some Guy 9?
I'm gonna demonetize you right now.
What's up, Son Goku? What's up, DJ Retro? There's also a fake Kosu here. No, that's low-res Kosu. Because he is so much of a boomer, because he can't figure out Discord authentication correctly. He is now permanently low-res with his image. Because I'm like, you know what? Like, Kosu, apparently because you can't figure this out with reactive Fujitech, which is what we're using for these bouncing characters, then let's change your Discord image to the transparent one, and then we should be all kosher. And so he did, and as a result of that, for some reason, he is now permanently low-res in the background. So, and as of Hashi's request, he's now also in the cup chair. So that's why you see him in a chair right now.
Yeah, it's all right.
We're starting off the chair.
It's all right, guys. I get women. It's fine.
Button says, "Is Kosu cooking?"
I actually am, unironically. I'm actually cooking something.
He's cooking, bro. He's right now.
But do you smell what Kosu is cooking?
Indeed.
Here, hold on. I'm fucking.
Indeed, the low res is really funny, and that's why I decided to start the stream right now before he could even figure it out. If he figures it out.
No, I'm not gonna figure it out.
I thought he said low res for a sec. Low that would also be descriptive.
Yeah, in fact, Kosu just has low res.
Let Surfbone tell me that. Where is it? Man, I gotta turn this down too.
What the stream
about? What the stream about?
Why don't you explain the exact story that you have?
All right. So yesterday I was talking to someone in Noodles' server, and they're talking about like who comes up when you search up power scaling on YouTube. I'm like, that's actually a pretty good idea. And so I looked it up, and in like an incognito tab, because you don't want like your algorithms mixing. That's how people get pregnant. And lo and behold, I found this really interesting looking video when I looked up power scaling. And I'm like, hey, Surfbone, you want to watch this? And then he's like, yeah. And then now we're here. So,
and that's the video we're gonna be watching today. And we just decided last minute because Kosu was also in VC, and then Hashi literally gave him a 5-second countdown of whether or not he wanted to join the stream or not. Was mentioned? We have no idea. We have not seen the video, nor do we know what's going to be contained within it. But it looks really... But Hashi is just assuming that there's going to be some terrible stuff mentioned in the video, so that's why we're reacting to it.
Yep. Someone said, y'all up for a game of bingo? We could play bingo. You still have that asset, don't you?
No, I do. It should be on here still.
Bring it up.
Card is right here.
Hey, bingo! Make it bigger.
The anti-power scaling bingo card.
Dude, we know like the Price is Right sound effect.
We're only what? Wait, say that again.
We need the Price is Right sound effect. You know the little jingle that they have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny, but we can't smell what Kosu is cooking because the phone is in Kosu's mandibles. Mandibles.
Mandibles.
What the hell do you think I am, bro?
No, he doesn't say mandibles. He says mantibies.
That's even worse.
That is an interesting word. Would you rather have
terrible.
Or cursed energy? Nen.
One moment. I'm gonna refill my water before we get started.
Overrated. Like, at least with Nen, you can actually, like, at least structure it to be used for everyday life. Cursed energy is kind of more specific towards, like, combat explicit stuff. Then way more creative and better. Yep. Explain myself. What do I have to explain about myself? What if? Honestly, if anybody in, like, if any power scalers get mentioned within this video, it would be really, really funny.
Well, they said Noodles got mentioned.
Oh, he said was Noodles mentioned, so he doesn't even know.
Oh.
Well, that's what we see.
The fuck? Oh.
Surfbone, when man titties, explain yourself. No, men way more creative.
You just said man titties.
Oh my fuck.
Yeah, someone said that in chat. One of the first words I heard from you was man titties. Yeah, it's a meme. Your thoughts on r/power scaling? It's a lot of bait to get into a Discord. Don't fall for it, chat.
Oh yeah, it's really funny. There is like a story that I have about r/power scaling specifically that I could reveal, but I think I probably revealed it before on stream. More or less, the guy who currently owns the Reddit almost gave me and Hashi full ownership of the entire thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like he was going to give it to me because he trusted that I knew how to, like. Oh, we got a cat.
Yeah. What, Bonnie? What do you want to say to the chat?
And already she has way more to say than Surfbone.
Yep.
Shut up.
That was a very productive interview, Bonnie the cat.
Where is the Noodle Man? Noodle Man ain't here.
Getting beat up by his wife, probably.
Yep. They're probably playing some Baldur's Gate. They were earlier.
Yeah, he's hooked on that, bro.
Yep.
I got him hooked on it.
Is Hashi still racist? Hashi, do you want to answer that question?
when it's comedically convenient, yeah. All right, Bonnie, you're going in the other room. You're sabotaging me.
Sabotage. Ain't nothing wrong with that cat, bro.
What if said, all right, you three aren't needed anymore. The cat is carrying the stream. That might be true.
Facts, big facts, bro.
When are we getting the Helios coming into the stream?
Oh, never.
Never?
He doesn't show up, bro. He's too famous. He's too good for us.
Alrighty. We're gonna wait till Hashi gets back before we fully dive into this video.
Also, how are you gonna stream it?
I'll be streaming it right here. I just currently have my OBS stream to you guys.
Okay.
What if said you aren't fully racist? I can't support the stream anymore. That is crazy.
Oh man, Hashi has to step it back up.
Marky Chaos said, "Where is the Betty Maru scale, Kosu?"
Yeah. Oh, I already came out with it, remember? You know, you guys just missed it. You guys won't see it on there, though. Hey, it came and gone.
By the way, Hashi, you missed it.
What?
But what if said, he's like, wait, you are.
Yeah, I just tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got some marshmallows too while I was up. You guys play any fighting games? Nah.
Not explicitly 2D fighters. We've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals recently.
Yeah.
Hashi currently getting Taki points from his cat. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. They're in the other room, though. He's being a bit of a pain.
Alright, I'm gonna change the streaming window. Here.
Alright. Why you suck at writing, power scaling. Oh, he's a PNG tuber, too.
Yep.
He's a PNG tuber?
Yeah.
Yep.
What the hell does that mean?
And I'm going to...
Whoa.
Kosu, if you start burning down your kitchen, you better turn on your camera and show us.
Nah.
Alright.
Sparking Zero not winning best fighting game was funny. I mean, what other fighting games came out this year? Like, within the last year?
Nope. Hashi's mushrooms hit different. Alrighty. So, we all ready to watch this thing?
Yeah.
Alright, Kosi, you ready?
Yep. I'm just I just muted myself like momentarily because I'm cooking. So.
Okay. Alright. And
Tekken 8.
We're starting.
Who gives a fuck about Tekken 8? Alright, let's watch it.
Pins.
Tell me if you've been here before. You've just picked up a new shonen anime, and it's got probably one of the most interesting power systems you've ever seen in fiction. Or maybe it's a power system similar to something you've enjoyed in the past, except that this power system doesn't have all the holes and flaws of a previous power system. Then, as the story goes on, you inexplicably develop a hatred for the power system of the story and its inconsistency. I would say that this is a very common experience when it comes to watching long-running shonen. Eventually, the story goes on for long enough that the writers break their power ceilings in an effort to raise the stakes for the next big bad villain. And the fandoms are no better. Power scaling is its own niche genre on YouTube.
Yeah!
And can be
I appear in the video, let's go! My video first comes up on his stuff! Let's go! Oh, my videos immediately come up when he searches up power scaling.
Genre.
That is based. And even videos that, like, we've reacted to as well.
Oh, shit. $5 super chat.
A $5 super chat from Major Metroid.
Major Metroid. Why do strong characters feel weak? Midnight Rants bingo. Alright, I'm gonna let you in on a special deal, Major Metroid. If this video is terrible, your video is like the backup fighter.
Yeah.
You are the Tom Aspinall to our Stipe Miocic right now.
Free shout out indeed. From a channel that has like twice as many subscribers as I do. Let's go.
Alright, let's watch it.
I'll take that.
On YouTube, and it can be quite fun to theorize and argue about which fictional character can beat another fictional character in a fight. We've all got these ideas of planet busters and rankings, from base forms to super ascended god, ultimate god, lesbian god, Saiyan god, titan form 3s. Power scaling is important, and it's often poorly written. The first reason you suck at power scaling is often not a matter of...
Wait, what was that? I just saw like a quick flash there.
Really written. The first reason you suck at power scaling...
It was a bit before, yeah, I saw it too. My eyes couldn't keep track of it. Oh.
Guys, he said the title,
is often
you should have
not
Peter
a matter
for that one, my guy.
Of the power system itself, but rather the lack of limitations and rules you have set for them. Don't get me wrong, a good open-ended power system can be super fun to engage with, but oftentimes if the writer does not rein themselves in, they follow the power system to its logical conclusion. godhood. Most series without hard power ceilings and limitations will often have their characters ascend to some sort of godlike, untouchable state. Sometimes they do this numerous times in the story. The most prevalent of these offenders is Dragon Ball, as I'm sure many of you have already been thinking.
But, like, Dragon Ball... Wait, pause it.
Yeah.
Like, I think... Like, there's really only two routes you can go with this argumentation, right? And that's it. You have to get mad at, like, God forms being a thing, because, like, God has to carry some kind of, like, weight to it, right? Or you have to be saying you can't have big jumps in power, but I have a feeling he's going to pick neither and do some, like, weird wishy-washy. So, let's see where he goes with it.
Of this really starts, isn't it? Back in the day, when Dragon Ball first came out and contested characters like Superman, everyone had been debating who would win in that fight. The feats shown by characters like Goku will always capture the imagination and make us wonder about how he stacks up in comparison to other super powerful characters like Superman. The conversation is especially interesting when the characters of other shows and series have powers which lie outside the realm of simply punching someone really fucking hard. Can Goku beat Danny
Wait,
Phantom?
no, go back and pause.
Yeah.
So the problem is, if you go back to where he's showing all the JoJo's pro tags, if you think
simply punching someone really
Jonathan's
fucking hard,
only punching people super hard, yeah, you're not going to be able to get it. But Jonathan has hormone powers, which he uses like really well. So does Joseph. Joseph's like outsmarting people. Jotaro stops time. Josuke has like his like Josuke has his repair ability, which comes up in like every arc. This kind of shows you didn't watch JoJo's. Like,
I was reading the comments earlier, and they were saying that like the like, what was it, like, that it was bait or whatever. Like the JoJo slander engagement bait is working.
I mean, I agree that JoJo's is bad, but that's not why. So,
yeah. But he didn't heart that one. Either way.
Can Goku beat Danny Phantom if Danny Phantom goes intangible? I don't know. Either way, I'm not here to talk about which characters will beat whichever other characters across fiction. The answer is that my personal OCs will always beat everybody in every fiction, because I'm the writer and because I say so. In all seriousness, though, I'm here to tell you as a writer not to worry about those things. I'm also here to perhaps provide some solutions on how to do power scaling right in your story. But in order to understand...
This is going to be a very interesting breakdown.
Yeah, I want to hear
this guy really talks really slowly, so
yeah,
I'm going to just amp it up just a little bit.
What's really funny is that like we've had people come in like my OC and then they're like trash. I don't think I've ever seen like an OC that's actually strong, because anybody who knows how to write strong stuff isn't making up random OCs for debates, right?
Yeah. Also, I often find those that try to do the whole my OC wins type stuff. I go into those things where it gets to the point where they don't know how to make a proper story and they just care about trying to make the character strong. I still remember there was the guy that like came into our server and was asking about like Aleph negative dimensions and stuff, and was concerned with his own story. And I'm like, dude, what kind of a story are you trying to write, bro? How does that at all ever come up in conversation in your story, and how is that engaging? Why are you making your characters get into that type of stuff, and how are you going to explain that type of stuff to your audience if it's even coherent?
You're almost like it's not even like preaching to the choir. It's like preaching to like the kids in the back. Like you're just like making like random stuff up just to do it. It's really weird. And I definitely don't want to dissuade anybody from writing their work if it's like their passion. But frankly, I don't think any of these people want to write something. They just want to be known as like the next Sugsverse, even though everybody just laughs at that dude.
Yeah.
So.
What to do right, we must first understand what is often done wrong. And in the case of a show like Dragon Ball, not only does it lack a power ceiling, but the power scaling is often inconsistent. Inconsistency within your power system is yet another fatal flaw in power scaling. One moment, Goku is injured by a bullet, and in the next moment, he's getting punched by a god who could kill the...
Pause. That's explained in the series.
Yeah, that's like... Okay. So...
Another example of him not actually watching or reading the material.
So...
Yeah.
It's really funny that this guy is providing some critique and advice to those who are planning to be future writers of the story, but has just demonstrated that he is incapable of understanding basic literary understanding.
Analysis.
Yeah, literary analysis by not understanding that there was a basic explanation for why Goku got injured by that laser, and it was also because if you actually watched the series, Whis literally warns Goku about this exact weakness that he has about letting his guard down and when he's coming across his enemies, and
not only that,
punished for this.
Not only that, but that whole thing plays into the actual power cap of Super, which was Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct was like the apex, but like you're capped at it. It kind of shows you really didn't understand Dragon Ball Super. So
yeah. Also, wait, did he say in the next arc?
One moment, Goku is injured by a bullet, and in the next moment, he's getting punched by a god who could kill the entire universe with a single punch.
Okay.
What?
Okay, buddy. In the next moment.
Are we watching it backwards?
Apparently.
Power scaling community around Dragon Ball is to be believed. In one moment, Goku is a Super Saiyan God with power far beyond that of his most powerful form, from which he could already destroy entire solar systems based on his feats alone, only for an older character like Android 17 to have a equal match with the form which is ascended past that God form. If power scaling was consistent in the DBZ universe, hardly any of the other characters in the show would be alive, let alone helpful in a fight. In fact, it's very...
Also... I get the whole, like, Android 17 thing, and that is just kind of bad writing that supposedly Android 17 just had, like, such a major, like, power increase just from the little training that he's done over the years.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a major writing error. But, I don't understand the previous, like, critiques at all.
Yeah. But also, why the hell is that power scaling's fault?
Yeah.
Yeah, power scaling is just like the interpretation that 17 must be stronger. It's kind of weird.
As people are pointing out in the chat, this is just like misconstruing what the term power scaling with power progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparent that after the Frieza arc, Toriyama struggled to involve the other characters in the story beyond being commentators who act shocked at how powerful our main characters are. But let's switch over to a shonen that's inspired by Dragon Ball, as many tend to be. Naruto. Naruto had humble beginnings with its power system. Humble beginnings which seem very out of place now that I've gone and rewatched the show, and that we have the full context of the power system in mind. Where at one point we could have believed that the ninja of Naruto were stealthy, calculating spies and assassins, by the end of the series, it's any wonder why the ninja attempted to sneak around in the first place. Just punch the city and destroy everything. It's that.
Oh no, we're back to... Like, I wish that we were back in the time when Naruto was about ninjas argument. We're literally going back in time. Well, not just back in time, but we're using the... I really hate how that Naruto's no longer about ninjas anymore. Like, what are we doing? What is the first the very first chapter and or episode is revolving around a demon fox thing that is as big as a mountain, and they're talking about how the swish of his tails causes tsunamis and earthquakes, and they're attempting to fight this thing, and the fourth Hokage literally seals it inside of a baby. That's the first thing that ever happens in Naruto, and we're having this critique about it not being about ninjas at some point in the story when it was never that to begin with, and oh my god,
this just seems like the bottom of the barrel arguments you'd find on Reddit. Like, it doesn't. I doubt he's actually gonna make like any like new arguments for any series, but we can give it a bit more of a shot before switching to the other video.
The whole like, what's the point of ninjas having to sneak around to begin with? Do you not remember I don't know if he's talking about in Shippuden that has this problem, but there's only been like a few instances where like some characters have some really powerful jutsu that obscures their presence and allows them to attack other characters, like Zabuza with the mist, and that was like a major problem that they were having to deal with at the time. literally the first two like major characters they come across when they were escorting the bridge builder were these two sound ninja. Yeah, let's keep watching this.
Easy. Stack this onto the fact that the majority of the most powerful and gifted ninja in the world turn out to be a bunch of teenagers, and this power system kind of starts to lose its appeal. I mean, if fully grown adults cannot contend with children despite having more time and resources to increase their life, then why?
The whole narrative is that they're passing the torch.
Yeah.
Like it's always like the newcomers of the new generation, as more of them are more and more peaceful, get stronger and stronger and stronger. Like,
yeah,
man.
Also, to act like these like adult characters just become completely obsolete is not true. Like, Kakashi remains relevant throughout the entire story of Naruto. Like, only like some of the like the more adult characters that are like say Asuma only become obsolete when they literally die, and then they end up fighting him in the war. Like, and just like Nate said, like in Shippuden, they're no longer teenage, they're no longer children. Also, I guess we're just neglecting the fact that, like, say Sakura probably wouldn't have gotten to where she was if she didn't get trained by Tsunade. Sasuke literally had to seek out other like means of obtaining power, like Orochimaru, in order to defeat his brother. Naruto was being trained by Jiraiya and had to go to like this Toad Mountain, Magic Mountain, in order to obtain this like form that binds him with nature and gives him more abilities, while also having a demon fox monster, like literally stuck in his chest. Like, dog. Like, they give all sorts of explanations for why these children are relevant in the story. I don't know why them not being adults is like somehow making the power system less appealing. Like, this isn't a critique on the power system whatsoever. I don't know what this is even
like. Most of the problems that he has is more of like a narrative thing, anyways. Like, just say you don't like how the series is structured, you know, or like the certain mechanics in the story. Like, if you don't like the writing, that's fine, but don't blame it on the power scaling community.
Yeah, and like, hold on, I need to hear his like critique again.
Stack this onto the fact that you around in the first place. Just punch the city and destroy everything. It's that easy. Stack this onto the fact that the majority of the most powerful and gifted ninja in the world turn out to be a bunch of teenagers, and this power system kind of starts to lose its appeal. I mean, if fully grown adults cannot contend with children despite having more time and resources to increase their might, then why does any of it really matter? What is the point of a Jonin if a Genin is currently capable of leveling an entire country by themselves?
Maybe because the rank system is not about how powerful they are as characters. You learn about this in the Chunin exams. Just you winning the tournament does not make you, like, necessary to become a Chunin. That's why Shikamaru was the only one to obtain that rank at the end of the arc.
Not only
we learned this, in the very first part of Naruto.
He's also missing the fact that like he has like such a big problem with the like all of the kids being in the spotlight in terms of like the power clipping, but it's like also anytime they reference these kids, it's the gifted ones, right? It's that they're not like referencing most of the time they're not referencing all of the, like the weak fodder, like these are like actual specially gifted like young ninjas, bro. Like
yeah. Also, Naruto was like a genin throughout the entire show, and that was just to specifically like point out that rank structure doesn't matter or indicate how powerful you are. Like, he was a genin throughout the entire thing up until when he was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you need like rank structure to be completely like attributed to how powerful these characters are when they've clearly made it within the story clear that it's not just about how powerful you are as a shinobi.
themselves. What is the point of espionage when some ninja have perception powers that flatly ignore any attempts at stealth? Why are we still calling them ninja if all of them are meeting one another in an open battlefield in broad daylight? Why don't more people wear armor or use more practical weapons of warfare? At the end of the day,
it's never been about that.
They also try to. That's why like the Jonin flak jacket is a thing. It's why tactics evolved for like the Great Shinobi War. You didn't watch the series, and it's fine if you didn't, but you shouldn't pretend like you did. A lot of these questions are answered.
And then act like you have any means of like critiquing it by saying what happened to all like the espionage and all that stuff, and it's just like some of it's still there, but that's never been the main part of the story.
Yeah, like actually watch the series before you make a video, like also, even referencing it.
Just like Nate pointed out, the story is called Naruto, not ninjas. It's always been about Naruto and the characters surrounding him. It's been about them. It's never been about the whole idea of them being ninjas.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Naruto goes from a story about ninjas and child soldiers to a story about kung fu wizards fighting with their inner demons who...
Brother.
Read the first chapter of the story, bro.
It literally talks about an inner demon the entire time.
Yeah, like he has an inner demon, and everyone talks about him like he's a walking nuke ready to explode.
Yeah, and he's talking about like ninja wizards and stuff like that, bro. Like they're from the first part, they're blowing fireballs out of their mouth. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, man, it's almost like there was a whole, like, they made... The thing is that I think Naruto has done well is that they incorporate the explanation of chakra to the point where it doesn't feel just like story exposition, and it actually feel like they have a reason to explain it, and it's relevant to the characters of the time for why it gets explained. Like, funny enough, when me and Nate were doing this, like, watch-through of the series, where we were reading the manga alongside the anime, we just noticed in the second episode, randomly Konohamaru just has this big explanation about what chakra is and what it does for the characters in jutsu and everything like that, when it had no relevance to the scene whatsoever, and that exact same explanation gets presented to the story by Sakura when it actually mattered.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy that this guy is just not actually critiquing the power system or anything like that.
You can't critique something you didn't watch. Like, you can't critique something you don't know anything about.
This video was made in September.
Oh, brother.
Like, we're still, like, presenting the whole, like, ninja, like, criticism to Naruto. Like, I'm actually kind of baffled. We're going to keep going with this.
Are also very real inner demons. The power scaling got out of control, and thus the original tone and theming of the story was completely lost. In fact, we are left to wonder why any of the original tactics were being used if certain characters and abilities already existed in the world long before the first episode. Another reason you suck at power scaling is simply because you do not introduce the concept of tactics into your fiction. Time and time again,
Wait, hold on. Because you didn't introduce tactics? We just talked about Naruto, bro. You just brought up Naruto. What do you think they did against Kakuzu, bro? Naruto couldn't win. It's like they were literally about to get killed by by Kakuzu, and then Naruto... Like, there's so much, like, tactics in Naruto. And then he brings up Final Fantasy as, like, his main progenitor for, like, tactics displayed in fiction. And we just talked about Naruto. My God. Man, this isn't just like anti-power scaling. It's just this dude has not read the shows that he's talking about.
Yeah, like it kind of goes to show this is like the Reddit like pseudo intellectual where he wants like everybody to be like a mud farmer and like everybody's relative, and you got to use some like 12D chess to land a hit. But it's like people would get bored.
Yeah,
like those type of fights do happen in every series, and when they happen, people misread them every time. And this video sucks.
Yeah.
Time and time again, I've seen this in both power scaling communities and the shows that they enjoy. A lot of the time, people assume that because one character is stronger and faster than another, that means they can beat that other character in a fight. But
wrong way to put the arrow, jackass.
Fighter, nor does being a power lifter make you a better fighter. Those things can maybe contribute to that, but if you don't know how to fight, then you don't know how to fight. And if all of your characters are simply just trying to get stronger and punch each other harder, then unfortunately, this is not only a boring way to structure the fights and power scaling of your world, it's also just not how real fights work. Styles make fights, and your tactics are far more important than your overall physicality.
Hold on. I'm going to guess this right off the bat. If he mentions Hunter x Hunter at all, and talks about how it has the best power system out of any shonen that he has ever seen, I swear to God, I'm getting up and leaving my room.
All right.
I swear to God, I'm calling out here. Because he's literally talking about styles make fights. He's going to bring up Hunter x Hunter. I'm calling it out right now.
Chill. All right. So the problem with styles make fights is it doesn't matter in these like fictional contexts where characters are like more than infinitely faster than each other and stuff. Like if we look at a fight in real life, like for the aforementioned like Tom Aspinall versus John Jones, right? They're relative in speed. Actually, Tom's a lot faster, but relative in strength, there might be a skill difference. And it's about how their styles match up because ultimately there's like a cap, right? But in fiction, infinitely stronger, infinitely faster, completely immune to certain attacks. No, styles don't really matter unless we're getting hyper relative. Maybe if we're debating which Robin wins the most, but we aren't doing that right now, are we? Yeah. You talked about Mario and Sonic. That comes down to, the arguments for Outer Sonic suck cock. No. All right, let's see if Hunter x Hunter bring
someone
up.
might be born with a God-given gift to knock people out with the force of a semi-truck in their knuckles, but none of that means anything if they cannot connect their haymaker, or if they leave themselves open to being countered and knocked out themselves. When it comes to power scaling, just because one character was able to beat another character should not mean that the one character could beat everyone their opponent could beat. To think of this in less convoluted terms, think about each Pokemon type has its own strength and weakness, and even stats. Sometimes a Pokemon can have...
Bro, he's not about to talk about Pokemon types. He's not.
But Pokemon has literally gone against this exact same mentality in their own anime. Do we have to bring up that Pikachu just literally thunderbolts a freaking Graveler in the first movie and knocks him out? It's never been about typings help with giving you an advantage. But it's never been about that. This is the worst example you could have possibly bring up.
I'm sure if we had Nai here, he'd point out even more instances in Pokemon where they just ignore the immunities and stuff. And in fiction, there are immunities like that power scalers do talk about. There are certain characters that are just immune to someone else's abilities. But you have to pretend that power scalers never thought of this because it's a straw man.
Yeah.
So Pokemon have levels.
They do. They do in fact have levels. Levels, items, hidden power. Actually, hidden power got kind of removed, but all that stuff.
Certain abilities that are centric to their them as a character.
Yep. Let's keep watching.
All right.
An incredibly good type combination, but lack the stats or overall move pools to make that typing work. Meanwhile, other Pokemon can have wonderful stats, but their ability completely kneecaps them. Your tactics matter in Pokemon too. You want to be able to read your opponent's next move and ensure you pick the right Pokemon for the right turn. Fighting and power systems should be structured in this way as well. I advise that if you want to write a story with good power scaling, then you should figure out ways
Wait, hold on. You brought this up with the whole Pokemon typing thing? Naruto has change in nature. And
it's relevant.
And they literally talk about it in an instance where Naruto finds out he's a change in wind nature.
Yeah.
And then they talk about how Sasuke's is lightning. And how that is quite what's the word I'm looking for? As that's a coincidence that they just complement each other. Because of that. When Kakashi hits hits Kakazu with the Raikiri, he literally says like lightning beats ground, you like beats earth, you lose.
To diversify the utilities of your power system and the styles with which characters fight. Ask yourself questions about how a character chooses to fight in any given situation. Also ask yourself about who they have an advantage over versus who they do not. Some characters in your stories should be able to defeat foes who are far greater than they are, not because they've unlocked some new secret power level boost, but because their fighting style and their abilities directly counter their opponent and give them a series of unique advantages which help them to win. This is one thing.
I think it's really funny how anti-power scaling videos get to come in here and act like these are things that have never been thought about before.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, imagine if I made a video and it's like, hey guys, imagine if like these made-up characters we have in our head, we could like give them numerical stats and roll dice and have them go on an adventure. Everybody'd be like, motherfucker, you're describing D&D, and it's like, yeah, but it's like this new thing I thought up.
Yeah.
That actually would be like a really fun way to do versus battles, I'm not gonna lie.
Give them stat, yeah, but you have to like deal with like higher infinities like almost instantly.
Oh yeah, no, it would get really complicated like for people.
Also,
all right, let's keep watching.
Yeah, I think it's funny that he mentions like the whole like power up thing as if like if things like in Dragon Ball where them just obtaining a new form doesn't automatically make them win. Like Goku gets like UI Omen and he still loses to Jiren.
Yeah.
Like there's many different avenues where like they often use like power-ups as like a narrative tool to like show where the character has progressed within their own stories.
Keep watching. Oh, what up, Goob?
Yeah, what up, Goob?
Thing I think a show like Jujutsu Kaisen actually gets right.
No, it doesn't. We're getting JJK praise.
No, it doesn't.
No. Alright, Hashi, do you want to go on a rant about why you don't like the most of the fights in JJK?
They're one notes. There's never like any like trick or like catch or twist. You get one note, and it's like, oh, Yuji's fighting Mahito, and it's like, all right, well, he's gonna use his soul powers. So it's like, oh, you can't kiss Sukuna. Fight's over. Like, there's never like a multiple twist reveal. You never are going back and forth. JJK is just garbage. See what?
Yeah, like
yes, people in chat are immediately like JJK is ass.
Like
yeah,
it's funny that he talks about how like characters like what's like you need to display tactics within your own series, and it's just like JJK doesn't have many that are really well like that aren't that good. Like I don't know why he's bringing up JJK as like a prime example where tactics are like the bare trope of the entire series.
Over fucking Naruto.
Over Naruto.
The demon wind shuriken thing against Zabuza, far better tactics than like anything he's describing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not like JJK literally uses binding vows as an excuse to avoid writing them into a corner. Exactly. Wait, is this a stream full of people who unjustly hate JJK? We just kind of explained why we don't like JJK, but this is not what this video is about.
Yeah, it's not unjustly, it's pretty justified.
Yeah. JJK is not good, but we'll keep continuing with the video.
He often avoids scaling his characters to ludicrous heights like other shonen tend to do, and instead
doesn't make it better.
Which characters' abilities are good counters to the enemies that they face.
Pause again.
Unless you're Gojo or Sukuna
I really
alone,
hate this. Like I really hate this like idea that like because they aren't like universal or like 5D or something, that's somehow better. It's not. Being weak isn't like rewarded over being strong. Like if you took The Godfather, right, like amazing movie. Now let's say there's an infinite dimensional statement in it. Does it ruin the movie? No. If JJK had like a magic scan that proved everybody was outer, is it somehow any better? No, it's still trash. Like,
yeah.
Another Reddit
Someone
argument.
Like Yuji may not be able to bring down a special grade curse in the first couple of seasons, but with the help of a first grade like Toto,
wait, pause again. He just tilted his hand. He said seasons. He didn't read it. He watched it.
Yeah, he didn't read it. He just watched it. Yeah.
To sorcery, he most definitely can. Somewhat related to and better written than Jujutsu Kaisen is Hunter x Hunter, which introduced.
I knew it! I called it! I called it. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out, boys. I'm out. Mic drop.
Oh.
All right, guys. So this is my stream now. Me and Hashi are taking over now that the loser's gone. So basically, Hunter x Hunter's trash.
It's overrated for sure. It's probably a lot better than JJK, but
I fucking called it.
Oh, Mr. I called it's back. Guys, let's get an F in chat for Surfbone, guys.
Yeah.
Oh man. I called it.
Okay. Like a divine revelation right now.
Yeah.
They always go to Hunter x Hunter.
It's always like, Hunter x Hunter. Best power system in fiction, bro.
Honestly, bro, that's all I ever hear. I'm like, I don't care.
Okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear the overblown Hunter x Hunter is peak fiction.
Produces one of the most critically acclaimed power systems in fiction, and even though Hunter x Hunter...
Let's hear that again for the chat.
Hunter x Hunter, which introduces one of the most critically acclaimed power systems in fiction, and even...
Oh! I can see the future, bro. I got the Sharingan activated. These people are so freaking predictable. With their... the most critically acclaimed power system in fiction.
How the fuck are you getting Hunter x Hunter above Dragon Ball Z? Like, what? When people literally die to a nuke. Like, it's like a relevant threat.
Yeah. Yu Yu Hakusho is better than Hunter x Hunter. I do agree with this, actually.
Even though Hunter x Hunter has been ongoing for about as long, if not longer than I have been alive, they still have yet to break their power system. Or finish the story, for that matter. But Hunter x Hunter still serves as a great example to structure a power system around. We have people who are clearly on another level from everyone else, capable of pulling off feats which rank among...
Yeah, and guess what? Meruem is all he does is punch really hard. And he's like this super adaptive creature that is able to like learn things really quickly. Like,
what I was gonna say is that there was another YouTuber who thought that Hunter x Hunter was really good, and he made his own manga based off of Hunter x Hunter, and the first chapter was dog ass because he spent the whole thing explaining the power system.
Oh man!
Like,
and who does Meruem fight? A guy that just brings out a freaking golden statue that just whacks him every time he gets close to him. And we're just talking about
6D. Highly doubt. Highly doubt.
Stop.
Maximum doubt.
Yeah, please stop. Alright, let's keep going with this.
The most dangerous beings in the world. And then we have people who are not quite so powerful. The Hunter exam arc serves to show us the bare minimum for being considered worth anything in the series. And it's...
Then what was what was the Land of Waves supposed to be in frickin' in Naruto?
You're getting it. What?
Was like the Land of Waves not it's like was the Land of Waves not supposed to be an introduction to the characters? How, like much of like like of a like barren and like world the world of Naruto is, and how like shinobi are treated as like tools and not much as people, and it literally like changed Naruto's whole philosophy and reason for wanting to become Hokage, not just simply to become the center of attention, but just so he can change the world for the better and to redefine what Shobi is.
I genuinely think that he should just rename this video to "Why You Suck at Storytelling."
And you know what's worse? You know what's worse? He literally said that he went through Naruto and he still didn't understand the story of it.
Yeah, he watched it on like 5 times speed.
Oh, dude, I can't believe there's that one dude that honestly said that he doesn't have enough time to watch anime, so he unironically puts it on such high speed that you could barely comprehend anything that's going on in the episode.
Keep playing the
baffling
clip.
It's really not meant to be a test which determines strength. Hunter x Hunter shows us the ceiling for their power levels very early on, and often refuses to allow main protagonists to discover some sort of plot armor infused power-up To defeat foes they have no chance of defeating. Instead, the writer focuses on the social and interpersonal reasons for why characters like Gon and Killua are spared whenever they find themselves far out of their depths. The series also acknowledges that both Gon and Killua are talents which can only be seen once every 1,000 years. Despite being the youngest characters in their series, they are capable of being about B tier on the power scale with a potential to reach double.
Oh, this is hilarious. He actually has a freaking...
On the power scale. What does B tier mean? Who made this? Is it who would win?
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, I thought it was that you can't... Wasn't he making a point earlier about how it shouldn't... Like, that just beating one character... doesn't mean you can beat another, but he yet has an entire tiering system for them.
Yeah, so like, how does like Netero versus Gon go then? Or are you gonna sit here and start talking about the character arcs, or are you just gonna say that Netero slams him? Like what, you know?
Bro, I'm looking at this, and this tiering system is pissing me off. It's really bad. I'm just gonna continue.
He also left off.
Why are these guys all the way down here? Man, oh man, there's just so many problems with this. Oh no. Okay. Let's keep going.
Double S tier in the future.
Wait, pause.
Pause.
Someone said something dumb in chat. See, he's doing it again, comparing everything to Naruto. He brought up Naruto in the video, and he's saying that Hunter x Hunter is like the peak of like this like weird form of power scaling where they don't break the system, which is what he said that Naruto did.
Yeah,
and
how all the saying like that, like he literally had a section where he was talking about how Naruto like his like power system got broken, and it led to the series like falling apart and not being anything interesting. And then he has like Hunter x Hunter, and he's currently praising it. Like he doesn't have any time of like praising Naruto, and he's talking about power systems.
Wait, maybe try watching the video with us next time, my guy.
And like he had this whole thing about tactics, like how like it needs to be implemented, and that styles make fights. And then what does he bring up? He brings up JJK, and then he brings up Hunter x Hunter. And this was before he even talked about, like, he mentioned Naruto right beforehand, but then he mentions the whole tactics thing and styles make fights after that. And we're currently bringing up how he is utterly wrong about Naruto, and that it's the best example because he literally talks about how it's stupid. This video sucks.
It's terrible.
A detriment, but it is their talent which allows them to stand toe-to-toe with dangerous enemies who can use Nen. And because of the way Hunter x Hunter is structured, we, the audience, can easily see where the power system might scale later on, especially during the final episodes of the Chimera Ants arc, where we see Gon pay the ultimate price to momentarily realize that true potential at the cost of everything else. At least until Killua's sister is conveniently dropped into the story to wish him back to life, but you know, I'm sure that's not going to do anything bad to the power system now that Pandora's box has been opened. Another reason you might suck at writing good power scaling, by the way, is...
So he's gonna say that. Is he gonna talk about what happens in the manga after? Or is he just gonna...
Nope.
Yeah.
He's just an anime watcher.
Yeah, he's just alluding to the fact that it doesn't get as great afterwards, but anyway.
I've heard some people really like the manga. Like after, but... whatever.
Pandora's box. Once you've opened up an avenue of power, you cannot close it again. Or, at the very least, it's very difficult to close that box. During the third movie of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, I believe many people were introduced to this concept. Oftentimes, people wondered why, in a world where every spaceship can go warp speed on a dime, that no one decided to use the literal hundreds of millions of tons of metal moving at the speed of light as a projectile to cause mass destruction. Many in the Star Wars community theorized that it was hypothetical.
It also did happen in the EU before then, but of course this guy wouldn't know that, and it was just a non-effective tactic. Like, there already are explanations for this, both in and out of verse, like, or in and out of, like, canon, I guess, because, like, the EU. But this guy didn't look into anything for it. Not much of a shocker. Keep watching.
hypothetically possible, but that either for plot reasons or some unintroduced lore, ships simply never kamikazed into other much larger ships at light speed. Sometimes power scaling requires that we ignore and steer around the large hole in logic so that we can enjoy the simplicity and vibes of what we...
How does this even get to power scaling anyway? The whole idea of having this one carrier be used as a kamikaze. Well, how does that relate to power scaling at all? I thought he was going to mention how Rey is just seemingly this Mary Sue that is just gating force abilities left and right, and for explicitly no reason other than that she's the main character. But apparently we're just talking about Miss Kamikaze over here. Yeah,
I think it's because he was scared to criticize Rey.
Yeah.
We've already created. That was until The Rise of Skywalker decided to throw all of that away for an admittedly cool moment. Because yes, no one else in the history of the galaxy...
No, that scene isn't in Rise of Skywalker, you jackass. It's in The Last Jedi.
Was either smart enough or desperate enough to try ramming their ship at light speed into an entire armada of much bigger and much more expensive ships. In fact, I would say this scene alone could be used to change the world of Star Wars altogether. After all, if any ship that is capable of light speed, which happens to be all of them in the Star Wars universe, can do this, then who is to say that certain rebels or terrorist groups would not attempt to turn all of their ships into light speed kinetic bombs to produce all those super expensive and massive targets, I mean Star Destroyers, to rubble? War would change in Star Wars. And pretty soon the story would be less about having two massive space armadas meeting in the middle of a solar system to fire lasers at each other, and more.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Hashi, but didn't right before that scene they had to do this whole thing where they had to disable the shields to those that big expensive ship in order for that plan to even work?
I think that was the hyperspace tracking or whatever, but that movie's terrible. That whole movie.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but no, as you just said, I guess there's some explanations outside of that.
Well, it happened in the EU way beforehand, and it was waved off as never going to be effective. It's a terrible idea. Don't do it. And then when it happened in the series, it acted like it was breaking the lore when it was fine, but it still kind of raises a ton of questions as to why people don't try it more often, etc., etc. That movie is just terrible, but his reasoning here for why isn't really working.
More about spacecraft who are capable of maneuvering out of the way of other smaller spacecraft which are attempting to ram them at light speed. It would be a change for Star Wars that I don't think would be all that engaging, and it might ruin the vibe of the story. But at the same time, now that Pandora's box is opened, I'm left to question why there's not more random maniacs who are doing this. What we all initially suspended our disbelief for as the audience has been put in front of us and canonized to the point that we no longer simply admit to ourselves that it has just not been done simply because it would ruin any future space battles, which is what we're all here to see. And opening Pandora's box can take many forms. Super Saiyan 2 was a Pandora's box of its own, one which should not have been opened or introduced at all, and which Toriyama forgot he opened in the first place, until he opened a second Pandora's box in the creation of Super Saiyan 3. Yes, sometimes as a writer, it is important to recognize what is a Pandora's box in your own power system, so that you can bury it as far below the Earth's crust as humanly possible, so that it never opens. A Pandora's box has a few...
Okay, so he just kept saying how Super Saiyan 2 and 3 were opening Pandora's box, but doesn't explain why they were.
No. He's literally just criticizing it, but not actually giving any explanation.
The only thing that I could if I'm understanding his point correctly and what he's about to explain is the Pandora's box, then would it be when characters are capable of destroying the planet? That's not what I would think that he would be defining a Pandora's box, but he's saying Super Saiyan 2 and 3 were opening Pandora's box? Hold on. Let's see what he has to say.
Wait, before we start going, pause it again. The thing is everybody agrees the light speed ramming in Star Wars is bad, but you don't get to use that to segue into something that we don't all agree is bad. It's saying, yeah, eating poop is bad, but so is eating your mother's cooking. It's wait a minute. Those two aren't comparable. And so when he's oh yeah, light speed ramming, it does a lot of things, and it's yep, it did. And then it's like, oh, and then like Super Saiyan 2 and 3, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
A question posed about your world and your power system, which in the act of answering forever changes the power system. A Pandora's box is also distinguished by the permanency of its introduction. No amount of retconning or backtracking will ever make it go away. Finally, Pandora's boxes often exist in power systems which are uniquely meant to be simple while ignoring key details that would otherwise change the entire tone and plot of the story. Imagine if the Pokemon anime ever introduced the concept that Pokemon can be killed during battles. It would fundamentally change the tone and meaning behind Pokemon as a series, but that's already been done in the Pokemon Adventures manga, and it's actually worked to.
But the problem is in Pokemon battles, Pokemon can die, but Pokemon battles are like a sanctioned MMA fight. They agree not to kill each other. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
To great effect. And I think this brings me to my next point. Even though they opened the Pandora's box in showing something like an Arbok acid melting the skin off another Pokemon like Psyduck, Pokemon Adventures instead followed the logic to its conclusion and made a far more interesting story out of it. This is my next...
I'm just gonna say the first thing that made me think of something like this that's in like the more mainstream stuff for Pokemon is when Lance literally commands his like Dragonite to use a Hyper Beam on a Team Rocket Grunt to get to the basement of like this casino. Like he literally just utterly does that. The Rocket Grunt lives for some reason, but it's like, man, what the hell? Like a lot of the weird stuff in Pokemon is like kind of buried in something. It's almost like an Elden Ring. You have to kind of look for some of that stuff in order to like find like some of like the weird and like complexities of Pokemon. Like I'm sure the anime doesn't go into much of like the weird stuff that like some Pokemon entries talk about. Like like Gengar, just if it wants to hunt you and kill you, it will hunt you relentlessly and there's no escape from it. Or how some just kidnap children. Or how some Pokemon turn into children.
I also I don't see the problem with like changing your power system because of a revelation anyways. Like you can reveal something like, oh yeah, people can do this. And then like everybody's like, oh yeah, you can do that. Like, I don't know, that happens in real life all the time. Like people forget that like about leg kicks or whatever.
Oh, or Nate just brought up a point. Did he forget that Charmander was going to die because its trainer abandoned it? That was in the anime. That's true.
Yeah.
Or Ash turning to stone in the Mewtwo movie. Yeah.
Next reason why you suck at power scaling. And that's because you're too attached to the original concepts of your power system to properly mold it into something that's more interesting. Killing your darlings is a phrase in writing for a reason, and sometimes acknowledging and opening a Pandora's box is actually a good thing, but only if you are capable enough as a writer to allow it to fundamentally change your story for the better. Sure, we could ignore these small little holes in our power system and leave them unanswered, but we could also address them. And in addressing them, we might find that we end up fleshing out our power systems in the process of explaining away things that we previously tried to ignore.
No way he's actually like saying that, but is ignoring the fact that he that Naruto does that, right? Like for earlier on. He's like, oh, okay, it's okay to have Pandora's boxes as long as it's like explained. Okay, well, the problems that you have with shows like Naruto and Dragon Ball explain it.
Yeah.
You just didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Power scaling is also something which I have often grappled with in my own writing. Oftentimes in
he has Fire Force. He has Fire Force there. He has Fire Force there. Let's see what he has to say. Here, I'll just...
that we previously tried to ignore. Power scaling is also something which I have often grappled with in my own writing. Oftentimes, in an effort to write a cool or engaging fight, I can get lost in the flair and spectacle of it, before realizing that I've accidentally made my characters far too powerful too quickly, because the issue with making a character too powerful too quickly is that you inevitably end up doing one of two things. You find a way to nerf the characters, or you find a way to make the opposition stronger. The first option is often the worst of the two, but not always.
There's no way you think those are the only two options that you have going forward with your story.
What if you just have your character be OP now? Like, what's wrong with that?
you can use that as a writing tool. Like, the fact that, like, if that character gets really strong and they don't know how to control it, and then they end up causing damage to, like, everything, that can then be a moment for the character, and they realize, oh, no, I'm this powerful now, but I can't control my output, and it ends up endangering the lives of other people. And now that is a moment for your character to then learn and grow, and how to, like, grasp the fact that he has become so powerful now.
Yeah. It's kind of like how when, like, Naruto learned, like, Sage Mode, he became in, like, a new, different tier of power.
Oh, yo, what up, Keenan? Keenan just joined the chat, bro.
Yep.
Keenan, the GOAT. The dichotomy of it all, ...
Because people hate overpowered characters until they don't, that's facts. Wait, does One Punch Man have a power system? Yeah, it has a couple. It has, like, Fighting Spirit, you have Espers, you have, like, limits, and, like, what God does. There's a bunch of deep lore to One Punch Man.
Yeah. I'd rather say an explanation of why something is able to be done in a power system can be fine, but does that not make the revelation good, you know? True.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's kind of like Blue Kaioken. It was cool when they showed that he could do it, and then they explained why he can do it in blue.
Yeah,
like it was cool all around.
Like it's something that people have often like speculated about, like whether or not that's something that Goku can do, and it ended up being a really cool moment when it turns out that he can properly utilize Kaioken in conjunction with Blue, and everyone thought it was a really good moment. And it had to revolve around how the power system worked in Dragon Ball. I think he dislikes power cliffing and overpowered characters. Yeah, because he doesn't know himself how to properly write them, evidently. Which is funny, because he already said his own writing, and he has his own book.
Oh, lordy.
So...
I mean, shouldn't power cliffing be like a valid thing to do though? Yeah. Like, why is it like invalid? You know what I mean? I know he didn't actually say that, and there's someone in the chat suggesting it, but power cliffing should be a valid thing to do.
Yeah.
Depending on how you write it, the nerf can make a ton of sense, or it can completely ruin the immersion of the story. On the other hand, the second option is often the selling point to most long-running shonen. We see our protagonists reach new heights of power, and therefore they achieve a new scale for which they must now measure up against, in opposition to more powerful dark forces. But I want to go back to some advice on that first option that I said. What is a good way to nerf a character you've already made too powerful in your story?
Why are we nerfing
The first
him?
thing someone might try to do is question why the character is so powerful in the first place. If this character's power comes from something external, such as a mystical artifact or a gift from a divine being, then we can just as easily take that power away from them, can't we? Either the artifact is damaged and must be repaired through a long journey of learning and growing, or it is stolen and used against them by the villainous characters. And if it is a divine blessing, then perhaps the blessing is weakened through external forces, or the character falls out of favor in some way to the higher power that granted them those abilities in the first place.
I have a thought, right? Mm-hmm. I think this video is not so much like an attack on power scaling and like its community, but more so like an insert for himself to essentially say that he writes better. Like,
yeah,
you know,
honestly,
it's kind of like jerking off this idea that like characters all need to be like weak and terrible. But it's like he brought up One Piece when he was showing like, oh, they need a new skill, but like Kaido was introduced back in Eni's lobby. Like Kaido, Shanks, the Yonko have been in the series for ages. It's not a new scale to stack up to. It's the same scale we've been at. Like,
yeah, like
fuck.
Also, I don't know. I know he's presenting All Might on like the screen as a means to demonstrate his point about a character losing like their power or whatever. But it's just like, it's something that's explained in the series that because he passed off the torch to Midoriya, he is now losing that power, and it's never because All Might was too powerful. Eventually, we get into threats that are more powerful than full power All Might to begin with, and All Might was already getting weakened as a result of a previous battle that he had with All For One.
Yeah.
Can Kaido and Akainu be power cliffed? Yes, they kind of already have. Gear 5th isn't really one-shotting people anymore. Not to mention, Akainu's role in the story has been replaced by the God's Knights.
Yep.
Kind of already have. Writers need some level of power scaling skill or consistency in their story. No, I don't think they do. I think power scaling is emergent. You can luck into a lot of things.
Yeah.
You can accidentally do it.
I mean, that's kind of what Toriyama did for the entirety of the time he was writing Dragon Ball. He kind of just winged it the whole time.
Yeah, dude, most of Dragon Ball Z was improvised.
Yeah, completely improvised. The only one that I've ever heard that was done like the entire story was structured out before it was even written was Attack on Titan. But yeah.
If a character's power comes from something more internal, such as power gained through serious effort like it is in most shonen, it becomes rather difficult to nerf the character without breaking audience immersion. However, it's not impossible, because while a character can be empowered by the things within themselves, they can also be held back by it. This is an opportunity for you as a writer to move your focus away from things like big laser beams and planet-cracking punches towards deep character introspection and moments of doubt.
But why are we
cannot always perform at their best, even if they are highly competent in their stories. Sometimes they're mental block.
Bro, I can't.
I'm sorry, but mental nerfing is like the worst form of like anything in shonen. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say you don't like strong characters, dude.
Yeah, just say you either don't like strong characters or you don't know how to write them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, the fact that you are like saying like you either have to nerf the character as a result of them becoming too powerful, or you have to increase the power of the opposition.
Maybe.
So what does he think of One Punch Man then? Because
he probably doesn't like it at all.
Because like if we go by what One has stated about like what he thinks about One Punch Man, is that he wanted to make a flip on the story by making Saitama the end like story power from the get-go, and he was immediately like one-punching everybody.
Yeah.
Is this not in consideration that like the whole point of like one character's like story is that they're too powerful, and then he ends up going into this different like character arc for him, that because he's too powerful he often can't find enjoyment in life?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many more ways you can tackle this. It's not just two freaking options. Either nerf the character or power up the opposition.
Yeah, he just, I don't know, man. Like, it's okay if you don't enjoy stories that, like, implement characters at that power, or even in, like, the difference in power. But don't say that it's... For one, just take power scaling out of your mouth, because you don't know what it means.
Yeah.
And then two, if you have a problem with the power clipping in a series and you think it's like some like narrative detriment, then that's fine. Like, you can have your opinion, but don't like aim it at the audience saying like, why you suck at power scale. Like, what are you talking about?
Also,
like,
someone said that writers will never care about power scaling. They do.
They do. Only some don't, but like,
well, like some series, that's not the big purpose of it. But it's like power scaling is just a tool we use, like in hindsight, whenever we are looking at a story to try to analyze how powerful the characters are. And sometimes and just like what this guy is talking about, like you have to be self-aware of how powerful you're making your characters, because it can genuinely affect the story. And it ultimately does matter. But yeah, it's just like what someone is saying is like, but what's the wrong with big lasers or planet breaking? He's trying to pass it off as meat hand scaling just because it's strong.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
I know y'all did mention disliking JJK, but I will say I like the series. You'll find I like whatever.
Yeah.
I think Gege does a good job handling cursed energy and the limitations of it. I don't think he does.
No.
Like,
I want you to, like, we kind of already mentioned it before, but someone mentioned it in chat, how the whole idea of binding vows became this, like, thing that got introduced, never gets explained, and it was this crutch for the entire rest of the end of the story.
Binding vows are, like, never explained. We never get told, like, how you actually get your domain. Or we also barely get explained, like, which curse techniques are only, innate and which ones you can learn. All that stuff is up in the air. It's terrible. Keep watching.
Unironically, Naruto does a way better job at genetic and inherited abilities than JJK ever does.
Authors care about scaling, but they are not making calcs. Some do. Murata actually redrew a chapter because he didn't like how strong it looked, or rather how weak it looked.
Yeah, like Murata is like the best example for that because he literally was like, by the way, I'm going to redraw this entire fight because I didn't think the fight was impressive enough, so I'm going to redraw it and up the scale.
Yep.
He even did that with like the beginning part of Saitama versus Garo, when Garo was in this completely other different transformation that was far more monstrous, and like he ends up making like Garo being someone who gains the power of God and shit. And like he was even talking about how he was hoping to eventually like present characters who far eclipse like the Boros fight. And even someone like had joked to him that like, oh, instead of like Saitama getting kicked to the moon like in Boros fight, he should be kicked to Mars. And Murata actually saw that and he's like, nah, I got a better idea. And then they end up going to like Jupiter's moon. And then what happens when they go back to Earth? Saitama like farts his way back to Earth.
Yeah. Rick Dog, we know it's explained, but it's not explained well. It's kind of the point. These things are like mentioned once, and they don't actually play a role in the story. They're like throwaway lines, and that's kind of the problem. Like JJK is just not engaging at all. Like the only reason people like it is the animation. If we're being honest here.
Yeah. Can be the difference between winning and losing. Sometimes a character can attempt to self-destruct in an effort to pay some sort of penance for something they did in the past. A character can also undergo a life-changing injury wherein the height of their power is severely limited and the story becomes about their journey to recovery. There are a myriad of ways a writer can go about nerfing their overpowered characters, none of which have anything to do with creating a random asshole to...
But okay, so we're bringing up My Hero as an example. But the thing is, like, with Midoriya, he is constantly reminded about how he can't just be so self-sacrificing to the point where he thinks he'll just constantly get healed whenever he damages his body. And he gets told that if he keeps utterly damaging himself so much, then eventually his arms are not going to be usable anymore. Despite the fact that he has one for all in him and he can't just be so self-destructive. And that's not a problem of him being so powerful that like
Turner is super chatted $20. What characters do you think would be interesting fights for Saitama? I think Saitama worked really well, like a previous Saitama when he was vaguely planetary against some of the One Piece characters. That was always really cool. But currently Saitama's in a really weird spot because of like the current chapters make him a lot stronger than he was before. And so it's kind of hard to find people he can fight and have interesting fights with. I can't think of any.
I think someone like Shinra would probably be a good one.
I remember me and Kosa were talking about this, that like Shinra and like Saitama would be a pretty close fight.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just because they're at like relative levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was having Saitama fight somebody, I'd want him to be able to use like his like extra dimensional interactions. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Saitama, interesting fights.
Bro said anti-spiral.
Anti-spiral, that's a bit too much.
Crazy.
I mean, Endgame's like end of story Saitama when he ends up beating God might be an anti-spiral threat, considering God in the webcomic is like 11 to 12 dimensional. So
yeah. I mean, current Saitama, it's like, he's in this weird spot, because, like, high key kind of blitzes Dragon Ball characters.
Yeah.
So he just one-shots them, you know?
Yeah. I mean, aren't, like, characters in, like, I honestly, I've never paid attention to, like, Dragon Ball Heroes or, like, Xenoverse scaling or anything, but, like, don't they get to relative levels?
They get to, like, 5, there's, like, 5D arguments, so it's a problem with, like, the crack of time.
Yeah, true.
Nate said
that's the issue when Dragon Ball gets
Saitama.
Jeff the Shark.
Jeff the Shark is gonna ult him and throw him off a cliff.
Yep.
All right.
quickly tell the audience that this character is not as strong as they thought they were, and that they were always a loser with a god complex who had no chance of defeating Sukuna. Anyways, this also...
Again.
Man, at least he's one of the guys that hates Gojo.
But that doesn't make... Because, like, if you were reading JJK, it made no sense for Gojo to beat Sukuna at that point. Yeah. Especially because we knew it was, like, the final arc. If you have Gojo beat Sukuna there, we end up having to have Sukuna, like, go into Yuji or get stronger somehow, or the story's just over, effectively.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the point of JJK either. I mean, like, I don't know.
So... Also, there's like a page earlier on too where like Gojo acknowledges that Sukuna might beat him. Yeah. The I'd win thing is like much later to like reassure Yuji.
My next point about how to properly scale opposition when you've made characters too powerful in your story. The issue with a lot of long-running shonen anime is that they often tend to jump the shark at some points. And if they run for long enough, they will eventually jump numerous sharks, including a genetically modified space shark with laser cannons and a chainsaw mouth. In other words, there comes a point when power scaling your...
I do like he has Gear 5 percentage. Yeah. I do think that is where, honestly, the fall of One Piece is starting right now. Was the introduction of Gear 5.
Yeah.
Because honestly, in my own opinion, like, I remember you presented the whole, like, idea of Gear Death could have, like, been, like, unironically a much better idea presented in the Kaido fight than Gear 5. Because I think like, Gear 5 is, like, a Shinra Bancho Man level power-up that he should have gotten, like, at the very last fight of the series. And that would have made much more narrative sense. And it wouldn't have been seen as this, like, thing where Luffy is seemingly unbeatable now with Gear 5. And then the only limitation that it really has is its stamina.
Yeah.
And it's not really, it's not really, like, emphasized in the story that, like, Luffy has to care about how long he's in the form for. I mean, considering the first time he ever used it, he literally pushed himself again. And it was like, oh, Kaido's like, oh, man, you're really pushing yourself to death, aren't you, Luffy? And it's like, we've had this talk before about Gear 2nd back in Enies Lobby.
3rd. And 4th.
It's just like why do we keep bringing up this thing where Luffy is like supposedly pushing himself to death anytime he turns into these things when it's clearly not like affecting him whatsoever?
I don't know. It's like I don't like rewarding conclusions, so I doubt he's gonna articulate why Gear 5 is bad. I feel like he's just gonna pick something else.
Yeah.
Your opposition becomes utterly absurd. If there are beings who are capable of destroying planets in your world, we must also have a good reason for why those beings have not showed up before in the story, or why they have not just destroyed the planet our protagonists live in. I also think that many writers tend to get...
But they have to live somewhere.
Yeah, they have to live somewhere. like the Saiyans, like, and everybody, no one knew what Earth was. Like, the only reason they found out that Earth was a thing was because they eventually found out that that fucking Goku lived there.
Yeah. Earth was not that relevant, bro.
Yeah, like, Frieza didn't even know what Earth was. They all eventually, like, the only reason they even... Well, first, Raditz went to Earth because Kakarot was there and he wanted to recruit him. Vegeta and Nappa weren't planning on going there until they mentioned the idea the Dragon Balls could grant wishes. Then they decided to go there. So...
the wrong idea when it comes to challenging their characters. Whenever their protagonists get stronger, they think that the antagonists must also get stronger in proportion. However, a good writer will recognize that there are two types of power scaling.
Why are we still showing Gear 5 Luffy versus freaking
Lucci?
It's not presenting his point anymore. Like,
yeah, and like I don't like the whole point is like they get stronger, right? Like someone gets stronger, and then they can fight these other people now. It's not that like the enemies were weaker before. Mm-hmm. Like it's not like Frieza was ever weaker before. Frieza was always that strong. Yeah. And Goku had to like learn Kaioken, learn all this stuff, and then go Super Saiyan, and only then beat him.
Also, someone was mentioning, like, Earth is a tiny planet in DBZ. Like, that's, like, a good point. It's, like, they mention how Earth wasn't really this worthwhile, like, planet to even conquer. Like, the Saiyans... I remember, didn't Bardock literally call, like Earth, like, not that, like, didn't really have an advanced civilization, and that it was weak enough for Goku to live on.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
like
I think that was
they made it apparent that Earth was not a worthwhile planet to conquer and or seek out, so that's why Goku was able to live there for as long as he did until Raditz showed up, who was his brother, who of course he wanted to eventually seek him out. He called it a backwater planet. Exactly.
Yeah, let's keep watching.
Is vertical power scaling, wherein the same things are done but in greater amounts with less effort, and there is horizontal power scaling, where new powers are introduced which are not directly comparable to previous powers, and therefore...
And this is new to me, vertical and horizontal power scaling. This is a new...
No, I get the idea. It's like the idea that like these two characters fighting would be different if you had this other ability. Because you're like relative in speed and strength, and it's this one ability that makes the difference.
Yeah.
So like, an example might be if we're playing D&D and we like ran an encounter. If you have like this certain reaction or this certain spell, it's gonna run way differently.
Yeah.
Two types of power scaling. There is
vertical
power scaling, wherein the same things are done but in greater amounts with less effort, and there is horizontal power scaling, where new powers are introduced which are not directly comparable to previous powers, and therefore can provide new and unique challenges to our protagonists. Horizontal and vertical power scaling deserves its own standalone video, but I think it's worth mentioning here that neither is better than the other, but both are necessary tools to utilize in moderation. If you have too much of one, then it's time to use the other, basically. If you've got too many unique powers in your story, you can end up with an incredibly convoluted...
But he like defined vertical power scaling as something that occurs many times with less effort.
Yeah,
why don't you just increase the power of the characters? Like, what if we just literally like have like characters who get stronger but also get smarter and have tactics?
This is like when your mom offers you something, but like really she wants you to pick one of them. It's like, yeah, there's horizontal and vertical, but if you don't pick horizontal, you're a bum. Like,
yeah,
that's what this is. And he doesn't say it directly, but it's very clear that's what he's trying to point out. Because like I think he points out like, oh well, if you have too many people with like non-comparable powers that are all relative, it'll be convoluted. Like, what if that's what people like? Like that's what JoJo's is, and people love it. But on the other hand, vertical scaling is what Dragon Ball is, and people love it.
Yeah.
So,
magic system, which must be over-explained by the narrator at every fucking turn. Okay, I promise I'll stop subtweeting JJK, but, it's a good example of what I'm talking about.
I mean, JJK is bad.
In this video, I said they did a good job, but they also did a bad job, and that's kind of just JJK as a whole. They did a good job in the beginning, and then they just didn't do a good job later. You see, if there's too much horizontal power scaling in your story where you've introduced a number of different and unique abilities, then it can quickly become confusing for the audience as well as a hassle to write about. I believe it's the same effect as introducing way too many characters. You never get to fully develop and help the audience understand those characters. Your powers should be their own types of characters in the story. When you've got too much horizontal power scaling, that's when it's time to build upon the pre-existing powers and evolve them into something which provides new meaning to the audience. Let's say that your character has ice powers, for example. They're always getting bodied by people with fire powers, melting their ice. This character might shoot off their ice bullets, only to have them melted instantly by fire. Well, ice is basically just hard water, so why not allow this character to have water powers too? Why not allow them to expand their powers into things such as steam, fog, or large waves of water? What if they summon creatures who are made of ice and water? This is what I would like to call depth scaling, wherein we introduce a new power which is already related to the fundamental abilities of a character, but which cannot be fully considered either a horizontal or vertical power scale.
The problem with that is once you start doing that, their powers kind of lose identity. And instead of being the ice guy, they're now the water guy. And then instead of the water guy, they're like the anything remotely related to water guy. And so their powers end up like encompassing these whole branches of things that it becomes like, wow, you can basically do anything, can't you? It's like, oh, they can use water, why not bloodbend? Why not, right? Like, I think this is like a cool exercise where you can think, oh, what could their abilities do? But you do end up in a situation where they can basically do anything. like and D&D shows this as well. If you've looked into like the schools of spells, you can usually find a spell in any school that does just fit whatever you need it to do.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the diagonal between the two. A character with ice powers realizing they can use water has now opened up a slew of new abilities while also making themselves a more powerful adversary. If it was a horizontal power scale, I would have given them wind or fire powers. And if it was a vertical power scale, I would have just said that they're able to cast more ice that's colder and harder and doesn't get melted by fire. But instead,
alright, but hear me out, pause.
What is already
What if instead we evaluate each of these options and go over which one works better for any given point in time? Instead of like shackling them to these ideas that you're coming up with here, why don't we look like you showed Aokiji versus Akainu, right? So what if Aokiji can just make better ice? Or what if he can just get stronger? Which one's actually more interesting? And why?
Or like who uses their abilities more tactically?
It's almost it's almost like it's circumstantial.
Yeah.
It's literally like I feel like he just picks out series that he doesn't like and then picks these attributes out from them, and instead of saying this is why it's bad, it's this series did it, it's bad, so don't do it.
Someone mentioned that Bro is reintroducing hacks with his own explanation.
He
No,
is.
Kosu was right. He is just making this video just to like talk about like why his system is just better.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he has not used hacks yet. We are just over like if you have ice and fire, fire wins. But what if the ice could be colder? Or what if you could do more than ice? But he hasn't gone to alright. But what if you have like conceptual ice that can't be melted?
Didn't he mention like Pokemon types as like a good power system earlier? But now he's talking about like if you want to up your character's like powers. And like, in like a vertical sense that you can make ice to the like strong enough ice to where it doesn't get melted by fire.
Yeah. He's like, oh well, when you want to go against it, this is how you do it. Let's keep watching.
Yeah.
Present and restructuring how we view that character's abilities. This character is still and always has been using water powers. They're just using all aspects of water now. Or if we wanted to go a different route,
wait, pause
we could say
again.
that this character.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chad. I know someone's gonna get mad. I think if another series did the whole they've always been using water, but they were the ice guy, he'd throw a fit. I think he would be bitching.
Yeah, he would, bro.
he would be like, you can't just reveal stuff like that. That changes the story, and it's a retcon. like no, get out of here.
Yeah.
With ice powers is actually not controlling water, but controlling temperature. And when you control temperature, that means you can also make the temperature go
you get
up.
mad about
In other
this
words,
too.
this character with ice powers
Bro, hold on. They literally explained this in My Hero. Like already. They already explained this. Like how if they start off with a quirk as like a kid and it like they think it does one thing, and then they actually learn what they're actually controlling later on as an adult when they get like a better handle on their power. Like this isn't new, bro. Like you're literally showing on screen the show that explains it.
This is like that episode of Family Guy where Brian tells Lois about his novel, but it turns out that he just ripped off some old movie.
Dude, seriously.
No, wait, do we have to bring up the clip where Brian tries to make this like his own series and he goes to like this like George R.R. Martin wannabe? And he just he's like, you just made it super convoluted and just rehashing of like several different tropes, and it's just a big pile of garbage.
Oh, dude, this video is cheeks, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. And this is a series. The like why you suck at writing. It's a whole series. I looked at his channel earlier.
Oh my god. This is just
also capable of wielding fire themselves. That's something that ReZero has done. And while I'm not going to
wait, go back a little.
He mentioned ReZero as a good example of.
I've been rewatching that. What did he say? Like for that
character with ice powers who's controlling temperatures is also capable of wielding fire themselves. That's something that ReZero has done.
Yeah, ReZero does do that.
And while I'm not going to talk at any length about ReZero and their power system, just know that their power system is a good example of good power scale. Depth scaling is the type of thing I like to do with most of my segments. I enjoy being able to connect a power to something which is already established, or have something which introduces a boost in power while also making complete sense in the narrative. Now, as I said,
just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it doesn't make sense, like in general.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it would actually make it would actually make more sense if you like read or watched the series that you're talking about. Like that's one of the biggest problems that this guy has. I mean, we've already found like inconsistencies in the shit that he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's like you just need to watch the series and it'll make sense. Crazy concept.
With power scaling my characters. But that's the moment when you should take a step back as a writer and determine exactly how powerful you want your characters to be at any given moment in the story and why you want them to be that way. The reason you might suck at power scaling is not that your characters are too weak or too powerful, but that the power system has gotten out of your control as a writer. You've either opened a Pandora's box that you didn't want to open because you needed to write yourself out of a corner you wrote yourself into, or you have not kept track of what certain new powers say about your world. Either way, the story has gone to shit because all of the tension and immersion in a story is lost if we cannot buy into the power system.
Why is immersion good though?
So take the power into your own hands.
Like I don't.
The video's about to end, so I'm just letting it play out.
Yeah,
remember your goals when you first started writing your power system. Open up a document or a spreadsheet if you really want to get into the weeds like I do, and start writing.
Yeah, don't do what this guy said.
Don't do what this guy said.
Yeah,
horrible advice. Advice, bro.
Oh man.
Maybe we should read his book. Like,
if someone donates $200 in the next stream, we will read this guy's book, and we will read in excruciating detail.
No!
Donate $200 right now. We'll read it. Not right now, but we will. It'll be the next stream.
Nah, she's gonna read it word for word.
Yep.
Oh fuck! Oh no!
I'm setting the bar high for this one, purposely.
What's the video game equivalent of this video? It's like a video where like they just talk about why like The Last of Us is good and isn't slop. That's the equivalent.
Also,
it's like, oh no, you shouldn't actually play games. You should be watching a movie, pressing X every 5 seconds. Yeah, that's what a real game is. And they should make you feel something. And by feel something, I mean get told by people. It's a deep story.
What was that other video that guy mentioned who donated?
Why do strong characters feel weak? Stay along and just look it up real fast.
Oh, okay.
Stop DMing me shit, Nate.
I've heard of this one.
It's like 30. It's like 30 minutes.
Oh, lordy lord.
I remember Chad telling me about this video specifically.
Yeah, this one probably is a stinker in like a good way.
Yeah, look at this. It seems to me that every fictional character is a universe buster these days. I like how this freaking... Oh, man.
Infinity means nothing is crazy to put on that thumbnail, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, kind of.
Do you think we can blitz through this video as fast as possible?
Put it on 2 times speed.
Yeah.
Alright, chat. We might have
throw like captions on or something, too, just in case.
Pull the bingo up and put Subway Surfers gameplay on the side.
I wish.
Nah, dude, do Temple Run.
Alright, we're going to...
Get the bingo up.
If we can't. Yep, we're
1.75.
Yeah,
go to 1.7.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Let's see if it let's read his. It seems to me that every fictional character is a universe buster these days. Blah 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 mentions that hell, even Spider-Man, according to some madmen. What did these terms like universe buster even mean? In this video, I'll be answering that question. And spoiler alert, the answer is absolutely nothing.
Crazy. I don't know. I feel like the term is pretty self-descriptive.
Oh
yeah. I mean, everything means nothing to him. Infinity don't mean anything to him.
Oh man, he has.
That'll take 30 minutes to read too.
Feedback from Power Scale. I'm gonna read this.
Oh, okay.
I'll read it. I'll read it. All right. This video got real damn interesting feedback from the Power Scaler, so I'll respond to my favorite segments here. I'm on mobile. Please excuse my grammar. My feet. Never say that again.
My
my
little
God.
kittens.
What is that?
All right. It's just a hobby, bro. It's not that deep. I'm making fun of your hobby, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I mean, someone could dox you. Like, what are you gonna do then, retard?
Okay, yeah, but we shouldn't be freaking that up. It's like, look,
you're like, oh well, you can't stop me. It's like someone could though. There are people who dox each other over Palpatine versus Darth Vader. Right? Key controls canon to Dragon Ball. This is interesting to me. I'm going to make a video analyzing every instance in Dragon Ball where fans say key control is proven to exist. All of the examples I got in the comments were straight up lies or accidental misconceptions. Are misrememberings, taking similar ideas out of context, like Goku versus Beerus clash. But hey, who knows? Y'all might be right. I'll do research in a video dissecting the concept. I feel like you're just gonna make like a no true Scotsman. Like there's no true examples of key control. Doomslayer and Dante guns aren't regular guns. I think some of them are though. Like why, if they do better stuff, they're not. Yeah. He's just like, oh, attack potency is real. Yes, that's the point. A lot of these arguments really highlight some of y'all don't watch the vid and got mad anyways. The video is about, among some other things, why attack potency happens and why I don't like it. Well, who cares what you like?
Cares?
Yeah. Inconsistent power scaling is entirely the author's fault. I disagree with that. Power scaling is an inconsistent practice in its own right. Highly disagree. Plus, there's a couple kinds of power scaling: author scaling and
fan scaling. Both have their intricacies, flaws, and problems. But even taking these comments at face value, I actually mentioned in the video the fact that authors don't care about mathematics. Wrong. I agree with you on that fact that authors mess this shit up. Why y'all going for my throat? My argument
because you're wrong.
My arguments wasn't that authors should be scientifically accurate 100% of the time and should employ hardcore fan approved power scaling in all their works. It was that fans shouldn't expect authors to hardcore power scale in the first place. People over the Mach 3 thing, saying the author admitted he was wrong. Actually, yes, that's what I'm saying. You're understanding.
Well, if he's admitting he's wrong, clearly he does care. Like, there's no out for you there. Some of the detractors for this vid, it brought up some really interesting and well thought out points. And 40% accidentally misinterpret things. Whatever, you're stupid. All right, let's watch the video.
Oh man.
Also, the oomphy little bro. Like,
yeah,
let's
stop.
Let's
lock him up.
Delete your channel.
Lock him up.
Delete your channel. You haven't got to 1,000 subscribers yet. Yeah, delete your channel now.
Please.
While you still have time.
Yeah, while you still have time. Before you can make money on this.
No time like the present.
Avengers Infinity War begins with a clash between Titans, so the Incredible Hulk and Cosmic Warlord Thanos impact against each other with all their explosive, supernatural power. These are beings that could best be visualized as two walking, talking nuclear bombs, and yet, this fight seems kind of low-key, doesn't it? Don't get me wrong, the CGI and choreography is on another level, but the actual level of destruction is incredibly quaint. The entire spaceship isn't threatening to split in half from each and every impact from these monumentally powerful entities trading blows. Instead, the largest amount of destruction that occurs is this rock breaking apart. I've had fights with my little brother that were more environmentally destructive than this. Throughout all of fiction, we see characters of immense, even cosmic levels of power getting into countless fights, and yet the actual amount of destruction they show during these fights is absolutely nothing compared to the amount of power they're supposed to have according to the lore or the canon or the guidebooks or whatever. And why is this so prevalent? Why is this such a common occurrence in stories? Why are our planet busters not busting planets? We'll figure this out as we go along, but for now all you need to know is...
But Thanos and Hulk are not planet busters.
Well, Thanos is.
But like, it's like... Do you really expect him to, like, punch the freaking... They're punching each other, bro.
Yeah, like, no one's, like, trying to blow up a planet or the ship. They're just, like, fighting. Like, when Alex Pereira is fighting somebody, he isn't, like, trying to damage the Octagon.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, like... You've never really thought about it, because, like, it's pretty obvious to anybody who has thought about it, and that's why everybody's disagreeing with you. Like, I don't know, man.
Is that this concept is applied to so many fictional stories, and at this point it's almost considered a trope. And interestingly, and very strangely, the communities that are aware of the concept don't seem to dislike it, but rather revere it. The concept is known
as... because it doesn't break anything. The stories work out just fine, and everyone understands the concept. No one has a problem with it because it doesn't introduce any problems. It just seems like a problem to you because you don't like it for some reason.
If anything, it solves problems.
Yeah,
because
you have this preconceived
notion. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Another $10 from Turner. I'm the Hulk giving Ant-Man Surfbone taco. Or tacos sound good. Everybody wants the
Turner.
bingo.
Yeah.
Do you have the bingo on screen? I don't have
Not
the
yet.
actual I'll bring it.
Nope, that's the wrong image. There we go.
Bingo. I would have to look at the bingo.
I'm going to have to.
W. Turner.
Yeah.
Going to have to. Well, for one, I have to move the window capture down.
Who started the whole the author can do whatever they want anti-power scaling? I don't know who started it, but it
started from it started when people overused the Stan Lee quote.
No, it came before. There's stuff from before that. It's there's a lot of really non-answers you'll get, and it's like peak Reddit core. It'll be like, oh well, we can never know, or it's so inconsistent. It could, and it's like you clearly don't want to give an answer, and that's like. This is like the Reddit mindset. I'm not saying it started on Reddit, but all the Redditors think like this. They want to come to a conclusion really fast while not giving an answer.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they do that by disparaging everybody else.
I have to bring up the bingo card on the other side.
All right, well you do that. I'm gonna keep talking.
Yep.
And I've noticed this a lot, especially in the Warhammer community. You'll have people make this Bible in the comments, and it'll be just saying nothing, just going over nothing, just talking about a bunch of nothingness, and then they'll be like, yep, and so we can never know. And it's like, well, you could just read and put things together. The author's consequences become what we scale. Yeah, exactly, right. It's not always what's intentional, it's just about what ends up being true. So I'm sorry, Kosi, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, I don't know, maybe advocating for critical thinking is a bit too much to ask, right?
Apparently.
Yeah.
We're getting dangerously close to one of them where it's AP versus DC / attack potency doesn't apply to real life. I think we've already checked that box off chat. Right. So.
Yeah, I might as well just check it in advance.
Yeah, so we're going to check that box off.
The bingo card. Anti-power bingo. That's funny.
Alright. There's 1x. Alright, let's keep going with this.
It's attack potency, and if you've ever known the pleasures of a woman's touch or the joys of touching ground...
We basically already X'd that one off. It's attack potency.
Yep.
That's probably your first time hearing that phrase. The definition of attack potency changes depending on which shitty power scaling wiki you decide is worth the brain rot to look at in your free time. So I'll just give a very basic overview on what the entire concept is.
Pause again. I don't really get I get that some wikis are bad, but I don't see the the inherent flaw with indexing characters on a wiki. What's actually wrong with that?
Yeah.
As a concept, what's wrong with that? And obviously, I have some qualms with the central wiki as an authority figure, but at the same time, it's still the best solution we have. So,
yeah,
if you have a better one, man, you should work on it.
Versus battle wiki pretension. Attack potency is basically when extremely powerful characters launch an attack, right? And this attack, you think, okay, it's going to annihilate an entire solar system, then it's heading straight for the Earth. Then it impacts against the Earth, and I don't know, a small boulder is vaporized, and that's it. You see this a lot in Dragon Ball when all these planet-busting characters are just.
So you didn't even bother explaining what attack potency is. You just explained what usually happens as a result of attack potency.
Attack potency versus destructive capabilities, like raw cash versus a credit card. The credit card can be smaller, but oftentimes it has more value.
Yeah. Basically, it's, as the name implies, it's the potency of the attack. If I'm punching with the joule equivalent enough to destroy the planet, but if I don't have the ability to affect something at such a wide range like DC, then me simply punching the ground is not going to affect the entire planet. It's only going to affect a small area that I'm capable of annihilating. That's what it is.
Smashing the ever-loving shit out of each other through mountains and stuff. You think, okay, that's pretty cool. But isn't that guy meant to be able to like vaporize this entire system with a blink? What's going on here? Attack potency means all your favorite characters will very, very rarely showcase their power during an actual story, and this sucks, right? Why does this happen so often? Writers don't understand the consequences of.
Why does it happen so often? Maybe because characters don't want to blow up the planet they're standing on that the story is taking place in, bro.
Yeah, maybe like think about how boring Dragon Ball would be if like every punch blew up a planet, dog. Like,
it's almost like we literally had an instance of that where we had two characters that didn't care about the problems of destroying things, and so they literally fought each other in Dragon Ball, Beerus and Champa, and planets were being destroyed as they kept like going from planet to planet. It's like, that happens when we have two characters that don't care about each other, and you have these planets that are just roaming around. Nobody cares about them, and they have no impact to the story, whether or not they're still there. And you can then showcase how powerful these characters are by just doing that casually. Like...
making their characters cosmically powerful. They'll give a dude an epic planet-shattering moment and think to themselves, this is sick, bro, people are going to love this. But then they realize they still have an entire story ahead of them, and animating or writing or drawing that level of destruction for every single fight would be a monumental task, so they perform the expert writing strategy of pretending it never happened. So from then on, when writing 90...
When does that ever happen?
Not at all. That's not at all what they do, bro.
Like, you know that, like, a core point in Dragon Ball is at a certain point anybody can destroy the Earth. Right, and it's like a core plot point for like 3 arcs. And then someone does just do it because they're a mindless monster in the form of Majin Buu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like someone like, especially like when Zamasu was like literally became like omnipresent throughout the entire Earth, and he like shot ki blasts at it. But it's also like, but he doesn't end up destroying the planet. He just ends up like cleaning the face off of everything. And it actually is consistent with his character because he feels like the universe is beautiful and he needs to protect it. So that's why he doesn't end up destroying the planet. And he just shaves off that stuff. It's almost like characters are capable of controlling how much like energy they're outputting and what they're affecting.
Yep. Let's keep watching.
This
9% of the subsequent fight scenes, the characters will never show that level of power ever again. But that's just attack potency from the right side. What we also have to consider is the fans, namely the power scalers. I've talked in depth in other videos, I'm not sure if they're out yet, but how power scaling is used simply to wank people's favorite characters into absolutely absurd heights to win debates. Like
that does happen, though.
I mean, it does happen, but like in order to talk about this, we have to go, all right, like here's Goku, here's how strong Goku actually is, and here's how strong people say he is. And it's power scaling's fault because we're already at an impasse, right?
Yeah, the thing is, like, what happens to these people, is that they let those people represent power scaling as a whole, and because they don't like that, they then associate that with all the power scalers, and then they end up hating power scaling as a result, and then they make dumb like uninformed videos like this, make themselves look really, really stupid and ignorant. And now you have the entire comment section attacking you for it. And then you have to make this entire paragraph attempting to address it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't blame the entire community for just a few examples of people. Like power scaling is just a tool, right? Like I can give like 2 people both like a knife, and one will use it to cut like vegetables or something, and the other will use it to stab people, right? Like, you're not going to blame all people who like use knives that they're just going to like be fearful that they're going to stab people with it, right? Like, there's a good way and a bad way of using this stuff.
Yeah.
Like Goku versus Superman or Hulk versus Thor. So I'm not going to get into heavy detail into it again because that would take a while, and
wait,
my
pause
mental
again.
health is...
Hashi, we need to get through this fucking video, bro. We can't be stopping every 3 seconds like everyone says in the comment section.
He is saying... we should have let him go longer in hindsight, right? But he is saying that fans wank characters so they can win, like in matchups like Hulk versus Thor, a matchup that has canonically happened like 40 times.
Oh my god.
Where are the fans getting into that? Do enlighten me. I'm sorry, everybody, for pausing to point out that he's being fucking stupid, but keep watching.
It's depleting. The bar is low. So I'm going to keep it short. Power scalers are those annoying losers that bully people who say their favorite anime character can't blow up the planet, when in chapter 13 of the Italian translation of the guidebook, it clearly states that Amogar, the Dragon Emperor, has destroyed entire planetary systems. And in chapter 57 of the manga, the auntie of the main character, definitely isn't the author's power fantasy self-insert, by the way. His auntie defeated the Dragon Emperor in a fight of some kind. It doesn't matter how it happens. So therefore, my favorite anime protagonist can blow up the planet with a single punch. Oh, you disagree with the facts, do you? Pseudo-intellectual, ignoramus, you. And that's a power scaler. So you have these.
Yeah, you're all of those things.
Yeah, we're clear. We're all of those things, bro. Clearly, that's the thing, bro. And I've made this a point in a lot of my videos that the people that turn into this type of dude are the ones that face these people in a conversation, and they get so discouraged by the fact that they just absolutely got destroyed by them in a conversation, and not that dude was just an absolute asshole. Instead of attempting to just not talk to those people anymore and power scale on his own without having to talk to them whatsoever, he then has to make videos like this having to denounce power scaling in the name that power scalers are really not fun to talk to.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, he lost an argument on Discord or Reddit and is venting 100%.
This is basically what that video
is. You fag. Yeah, bro. He just came from a Reddit, bro.
Like, this video has already gone away from what the title of this video is. Why do strong characters feel weak?
This is, like, he's gonna say they feel weak because, like, no one's doing power scaling right.
Like, you didn't have to mention power scalers at all in this entire video, but you dedicated a whole rant to categorizing what power scalers are.
That's his name. It's like, kind of expected.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to rant and vent, maybe you should, like, cope and seethe first. I don't know.
Cope and seethe.
The British accent is not helping his cause.
It's not. That's true.
All right.
It's like a debuff.
In a fight, and people I could beat in a fight too. They join their powers together, and the result is all your favorite, very powerful characters will never ever show that power. Writers make their characters so powerful that it's impossible to feasibly showcase the true might of said characters without both literally and figuratively altering the landscape of their story. And then power scalers on the internet will wank these characters' power levels into even more extraordinary heights. So there's this massively jarring feeling when you read online about how every single character in a series is supposedly powerful enough to destroy 1 trillion galaxies with a single punch, only to watch or read or play the series and find out every single combat scene rarely goes above mounting busting bonanzas or even street tier slugfests. The Doomslayer being touted online as a multiverse annihilating entity because he killed some cosmic demon by shooting it lots in the face with a shotgun is one of my favorite examples of this, because I guess those shotgun shells are each capable of blowing up every star in the universe combined. Nobody tell the US government. Listening to power scalers feels like listening to that 1984 scene where the evil guy is trying to gaslight the protagonist into thinking he's holding up 5 fingers and he's only holding up 4. A power scaler will drill into your head over and over and over that a character is capable of annihilating octillions of planets with a mere sneeze, and in every single one of the hundreds upon hundreds of fights the character is in, never does the destruction go beyond knocking a car over, which would be similar to watching 2 ants fight in a nature documentary, whilst David Attenborough explains that the ants are emitting more energy than every single nuclear bomb on Earth combined. And when you look bewildered at this clearly incorrect statement, David Attenborough himself gropes his way out of your device's screen, grabs you by the throat, and screams in your ear, "You are a pseudo-intellectual." I've went through this gaslighting BS so many times because I am no life nerd.
He just admitted it.
He's gone through this. The gaslighting shit.
He just admitted he
that's why he's making this video.
No, but I wanted to point out I wanted to point out something else. So the problem that he's presenting here is that the power scalers will take the word of the fiction over just eyeballing stuff. That's his problem here.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you use like the David Attenborough example, if the ants are in fact emitting that much energy, they just are, right? That's just true now in a story, right? And you saying, "Oh, why aren't they doing this?" And it's like, because they don't want to, I guess. Like, they factually are just emitting that much energy. Oh, someone in chat said, "Can you put some Subway Surfers gameplay at the bottom?"
And I'm currently seeing if it's possible. Let's see.
Did you see what I DM'd you a bit ago?
Oh, I didn't even know you DM'd me. Hold on.
Yeah, I DM'd you something.
Man, what the hell? That bothered me so much.
No, that's
holy crap.
That's the sound effect.
Dude, I believe it. I believe that's his plate right there.
Yeah, Sam, I sent that to Needles.
Dude, okay, but like at least there's like some seasoning on it, man. Like, but it's pink. It's fucking pink, bro. Oh man. I'm not gonna explain the context to the chat. Don't worry.
I didn't even send it to sir.
I'm gonna do this, and then.
Dude, we should pull this midnight rants guy in VC one day
and bully him.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to put Subway Surfers gameplay up.
I know. That's why he just played the soundtrack
by accident.
By accident, he says. I gotta pull up the chat. So, chat, how's your day going? I haven't asked the chat how the day's going. How are y'all doing while Surfbone fumbles around with bullshit and I slander him in the background?
And before he just starts playing Subway Surfer.
It's a British food meal meme, right? Well, we're making fun of Surfbone, not the guy on screen. But
no, yeah, he probably can't cook either.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, he ain't cooking right now, so.
He is not cooking. He's burning down the kitchen.
Yeah, bro. How can you cook food but can't cook an argument, man? I don't know.
All right.
Surfbone's
a 10-hour version. Crazy. 10-hour version. Oh.
Who's lasted 10 hours in Subway Surfer?
Right?
I mean, you gotta be built different for that one. Lamau. Facts.
Lamau. Shut up, Housey.
Okay. Hold on.
How would I just want to call a stream Truck Simulator? Man, nobody want to watch Truck Simulator. What the hell?
Surfbone's really trying to put up.
Yep. All right. I think it's at the perfect size now, and I'm going to now put this on.
Oh, is that what she said to you? Is that what she told you?
Man,
you're getting cooked.
I hate all of you.
He's arguing with the oven on why it's not at full heat at all time. Damn. Yeah, that cooked him. Nobody wants to watch the slop either, Kosu. I don't know. Quite a few people are in here, Nate.
I know. Yeah. Some people like the slop. Wait, I'm not gonna. Why did I say that? That sounds so gross, bro.
All right. Don't worry. For all of our ADD and ADHD people here, we got Subway Surfers in that corner, and it's still playing. I'm gonna keep that open.
It's starting to look like a Seth stream where he just has random shit on the screen, bro.
On screen.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. Let's keep watching this video.
Alright.
I spend too much time on the internet, and at this point, I think the gaslighting is starting to work. I think I'm insane. You know what? Yeah, Spider-Man does have a right hook, literally as powerful as the Hiroshima nuclear bomb. I'm not crazy. He's holding up 5 fingers. 5 fingers! Power scalers seem completely unsatisfied with characters like Superman, Goku, all the generic anime boys, Thor, Hulk, all the really, considered high-tier superheroes and supernatural people or whatnot. They're completely unsatisfied with them, unless they can wank them to at least the universe-busting levels of power. But if you actually read these characters' stories,
why is that wank,
the idea, the expectation that these characters can obliterate the planet 10 octillion times over by merely blinking, you're going to be in for some mega whiplash. The goal of power scalers is to wank their favorite characters. But the funny thing is that writers very rarely adhere to power scaling logic.
Go to pause. I'd like to make a comment.
Hold on. I need to consult the bingo card real quick.
All
right. Yeah. While you're doing that, at a point we did like a meme where we were going through Superman comics, and almost every 10th issue there'd be a uni plus feat. It was like insane.
Let's see. The perceived character.
Dude, it's like I don't think this guy understands that like we don't like those wank the wank scalers either.
Yeah,
like we don't like them either, dog. Yeah, like we could be on the same side, but you're just blind.
Hold on, we did actually knock off a one all the way over here. We knocked off the square that is massive strongman regarding what all power scalers do.
Yeah.
We just knocked that one off.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest issues, right? Is like or not even that, it's just also the fact that he thinks reasonable scaling is wank, right?
If I'm getting Ron chat, he also was talking about in that previous explanation regarding ants fighting each other, and the narrator like talking about it and making some random ass statements. He's kind of going into statements are bad, which is another.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
anti-power scalers forget it works both ways. If a random character survives a nuke as a matter of fact and then takes damage from some random person, that doesn't mean he didn't survive the nuke. Well, the problem is that they'll say that punch didn't do a nuke damage. And that's just what they'll stick with. It's like, but why no big boom?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Someone said that we should check off the fiction is too inconsistent card.
I think we should wait for him to properly articulate it. You can put like a half slash through it.
Can't really do that on this, unfortunately.
Me too slow. God damn it, Kosu.
Me too slow.
No, I was replying to Slow Assassin, but me too slow is also like pretty valid. You can take it however you read it, dog.
Okay, let's keep going.
And one of my favorite examples of this comes from the beautiful website of Twitter. To set the scene, Al Ewing is the writer, he's a comic book writer, and recently he wrote the very, very amazing Immortal Hulk series, right? And fans were pestering, power scalers were pestering him on Twitter, and they were saying, oh, how powerful was the Immortal Hulk? And they just kept going on, and he was like, alright, I'll answer this. I reckon the Immortal Hulk wouldn't be able to blow up the planet without some special machinery. Anyway, good luck with your power scaling, guys, I gotta go. And the fans, they just simply ignored him, and they told him he was wrong. They told the writer of the character that he was wrong. Another funny example.
Yeah, he can be wrong.
Crazy concept.
You may have heard of it. So back in one of the beginning arcs, there was this pretty low-tier character that caught a bullet, right? And so the power scalers calculated this, very legitimately, I imagine, to be ultra giga hypersonic plus Mach 15, just omega speed. And then this character was notorious because her whole thing is she has incredible reflexes. But let's just say it's Dragon Ball logic. If your speed is high, that means your power level directly scales to that. So every single character.
No, it doesn't.
Nope. We have gone on Dragon Ball fans for doing this so many times, and it's not true. It's just utterly not true.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Stronger than this low tier character must also be ultra giga hypersonic Mark 15 plus whatever, right? But then in a much later arc, this character went through a massive upgrade. So now she's actually one of the top tier characters in the series, and she got completely and utterly speed blitzed by a character going a mere Mark 3. Like it was like 5.
It's JJK. Just say it's JJK, bro. Just say don't make it so everyone knows what Jujutsu Kaisen is, bro. Just mention JJK. Instead of it making it so purposely vague, nobody's gonna know what series you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The title of this video is just so misleading.
It's so misleading.
This is just power scaling slander. Who cares?
And what fans calced it at? People got mad. People got really mad because they didn't understand that one, they're shit at maths, and two, writers don't care about mathematics. The amount of characters that have never even come close to blowing up a mountain, being touted as multiverse annihilators is absurd. You've got Kratos, Doom Guy, Dante, and... I'm sorry, I just really need to take a moment here. Characters that use guns being classified as universe busters is really funny to me. As a British man, I'll never understand the Second Amendment. How can America, as a government, as a society...
Why are we talking about politics?
Hundreds of millions of people access to weaponry capable of vaporizing entire galactic clusters. You Americans, you fellas over the pond must have so much restraint because every time you fire your bullets, not only are you not annihilating the Milky Way galaxy, as far as I can tell, the planet Earth is still intact. So I've dug into Attack Titan.
Bro.
It's like, do you think these characters would be using weapons that are infinitely weaker than what they perform? If they're using a weapon, it's clearly useful to them. Why does it have to be the same as a real gun?
Thank you to the person in chat that said what writers care about or think doesn't matter. Thank you for saying that.
Yep, that is also true.
Maybe for the earlier statement that he made, but are mathematics just thrown out the window just because the author doesn't care about them? I don't understand this guy's way of thinking. And the whole freaking gun thing in universe busting, dude, it's a work of fiction, bro. You're watching anime. You're reading a comic.
Hashi,
this shit can just happen.
What?
Who's that one character in Invincible that's just has a massive gun that can destroy planets or whatever?
Oh, Space Racer?
Yeah, imagine if he reads Invincible and finds out that a character called Space Racer exists who just has a planet level gun.
Yeah.
It would blow his fucking mind. Yeah, Nate's as a British man.
As a British man, your opinion on firearms is invalid. Like, I'll pull out the strap-on call right now.
As a British man.
I'll go moist critical, honestly.
God doesn't care about math. Therefore, math can't apply to our universe. Facts.
The British guy said it.
Yep, agreed.
We all know they're smarter than us.
As we know, British people have never had an incorrect thing ever, you know?
No.
This guy is just lost it in a debate, so he's just crashing out on his YouTube platform.
Facts.
The duck on his shoulder is boundless trust.
Yep, facts.
Facts? Alright.
Well.
Quite a lot. An interesting question here is, where the hell did it come from? Well, you see, Dragon Ball characters are all so immensely powerful, and Toriyama, God bless his soul, often forgot that fact. Sometimes he'd forget the existence of a character completely. So most of the time in Dragon Ball, even to this day in Dragon Ball Super, the characters are still impressed by craters created by ki blasts that are as big as a nuclear bomb crater, when characters have been blown up entire planets 500 deific transformations ago. In order to exist with this conundrum, the Dragon Ball community injected unfathomable amounts of copium directly into their neural...
Oh, $2 from Soul Assassin. I guess Punisher solos. Yep.
Facts.
Yep. He got some really strong guns that take out a lot of characters in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, bro.
Oh no! No one tell him about Batman's platonic bullet, bro. He's gonna throw a rage fit.
Man, don't bring up Fortnite scaling.
Don't bring up Fortnite.
Don't bring up Fortnite scaling. This guy would just delete his channel.
He might be on suicide watch after that one.
Synapses, and invented the phrase ki control, which means the character's big boom booms are controlled, so they make small boom booms as powerful as big boom booms, but they're small, so they don't destroy the planet. Also, when a Dragon Ball character hits a guy with a planet-shattering punch directly into the planet at 10 octillion times the speed of light, this is also controlled. Canonically speaking, there's no evidence that the term ki control directly applies to this fan-made concept, but that's a whole thing, and if I make the Dragon Ball community...
They literally...
They are going to overdose.
Yeah, there's a scene... In the Cell arc, we actually do see that like Gohan's like fighting Cell and he's like, oh, but I'm worried about destroying the planet, and Goku's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like we'll wish it back. Like,
yeah, they're currently having a beam struggle on the planet, and he's purposely holding himself back because he's afraid if he goes too hard that he'll accidentally blow up the planet as a result of that.
Same thing with the final Flash and Trunks. Oh, did y'all shout out Slow Assassin?
Yeah, I did.
Very good. Bugs Bunny using a vacuum cleaner to suck up space would break this dude's mind. No, the Bugs Bunny like Looney Tunes' OP shit doesn't get a pass. No, don't even start.
Right, fans find out there are other fictional stories out there with powerful characters with the same not able to show their true power in story problem as Dragon Ball has, so their poor little heads become rather frazzled. Ki control cannot exist in every single fictional universe because ki control is a part of Dragon Ball's exclusive unique power system, meaning power scalers run into a bit of a problem. It's going to be a lot harder to convince people that every single character that they're now obsessed with, from Superman to Snoopy the dog, is capable of annihilating the entire universe when they're forced to actually show physical evidence that these characters would be able to do this.
But
that's crazy because we do.
The thing is that you literally admitted that everyone understands this concept of attack potency, and that seemingly you're the only one that has a problem with it. Like, I'm starting to notice a trend here.
He's talking about like displaying evidence. It's like you haven't talked to the right people apparently. Like if you actually talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, they will show you evidence.
They're on Naya's Superman page or something like 50 uni plus feats for Superman. Like, and on the more cosmic side, my blog has like 42 outer statements.
Yeah.
Like, how do you contest?
Actually, he did say the statements is bad thing because he's going over physical. Like,
oh shit! Slow Assassin with another $5. Don't tell this guy about guns from Destiny or Warhammer. Yeah, don't tell him about don't tell him about death marks who like sit outside of time and like shoot people from like the 5th dimension. Don't tell him about that.
Yeah, he's not ready for that, bro.
Oh no.
So it becomes harder to convince people that you're right when literally every single thing you say has to be a lie. So how about, instead of ki control being merely canon to how the system in Dragon Ball works, ki control, or shall we say attack potency, can be applied to everything, because attack potency is real. Yeah, it's a real science, and I'm sorry, we need.
Why is it?
I believe some people really need to hear this, but attack potency, or for the Dragon.
Why is it that when Tom Aspinall is like wrestling people, he isn't destroying the cage? Why is it when he knocked the fuck out of Sergei Pavlovich, the Hulk octagon didn't like collapse? Like riddle me that, atheist, right?
Yeah, riddle me that.
Open up a new tab, Surfbone.
What's that?
Pull up Pavlovich getting knocked out. We're watching it. Pull it up.
No.
Yeah, type in P. Type in P.
I type in P, Surfbone, yeah.
No.
Dragon Ball fans, control is not scientifically accurate. I know there are power scalers, the stupidity, it only stretches so far. I know it's not all of them. I'm not digging on all of you for this specific thing, but I have seen a very disturbing amount of people that try and like say, oh yeah, we could apply to attack to this and this. It makes sense, because it actually makes sense in real life with real scientific laws. And there's been a non-zero amount of incidents where I've got into arguments with people over this, and non-zero is too many. So to make my initial statement, a dense, fast-moving thing of planet vaporizing proportions hitting the planet will not just knock over a single building or your little Reliant Robin.
Why not?
It is going to destroy the planet. I'm very sorry if you didn't want to hear that, but it's true. And I genuinely need...
Well, too bad, because fiction doesn't always apply that rule.
Not only that, but if you like calculate how much energy like a cup of coffee has, it's absurd. It's like building level. But if you throw that at somebody, if you throw buildings, yeah, it's because of like how much energy it takes to like boil water, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, you obviously would think that it doesn't have that much energy magically, right?
It's almost like just having the joule equivalent of something doesn't mean you're able to destroy things on a massive scale just from producing that many joules in a given space. Foreign concept, I know.
To give the scientific reasons for because there are too many anime and comic book fans that genuinely believe attack potency is in any way scientific. The most common brain-dead argument I've seen in which people make the claim attack potency is realistic. The argument is that energy can diffuse before it can, expand and destroy a mountain, the Earth, the solar system, or whatever. This is just wrong. It is a complete misunderstanding of the concept of diffusion. Diffusion does not stop expansion. It is expansion. Essentially, diffusion is energy spreading out, thus becoming less dense. Explosion is just spicy diffusion. If someone punched anything with nuclear levels of force, there would be nuclear levels of destruction with each punch they swung, no matter how hard the focused. I got into a heated argument with a guy once that kept going on and on and on about how Dragon Ball Ki Blast not destroying planets makes real scientific sense because the blasts diffuse into nothingness.
It doesn't matter if it has to make real scientific sense. It just happens.
You know what also doesn't make scientific sense? Them flying.
Them flying, having magical energies going through their body and allowing them to produce fire, allowing them the ability to fly, create elements out of thin air, being able to control people with control people's minds.
Being able to have a taper fade with the middle part.
Taper fade with the middle part is crazy.
Like, dog. Like, characters are doing vastly, dude, this guy watches Looney Tunes, his mind breaks. His mind absolutely breaks. Anybody who's in Looney Tuneville just automatically solos anybody else because he can't comprehend how all of a sudden this random ape that, Bugs Bunny comes across, the other side, what am I thinking, a canyon. He just grabs the rope, hoists it onto the other side of the canyon and just pulls it closer to him. Or how Bugs Bunny takes a freaking saw and saws off the state of Florida and it just floats away.
Yeah.
I wish California would float away.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Destroy the world. But diffusion is expansion. It's the changing of energy states from being in a dense, high-energy form and then spreading outwards into a less compressed form. The energy of which is less dense due to being spread out is of the same total energy value as its initial form. A highly compressed ball of energy, capable of blowing up the planet, will expand, will diffuse outward and outward and outward, causing the planet to go. And if, say, Sasuke was real, as we all dream, and he unleashed a very focused Chidori of mountain-busting power directly into your mother's house, the basement of which you currently reside within, well, you might think to yourself, as a master shinobi and a proponent
Why is he,
of
making personal attacks?
The Chidori is a sharp jutsu that does piercing damage.
He really doesn't have the room to do that.
Energy can't just disappear. It has to go somewhere. This, sadly, is why Sasuke can never be real. And also, neither can attack potency. The doofuses that say otherwise are simply doofuses. There are many more arguments that are pro-attack potency equals real that I could cover here. And as a YouTuber, it is kind of my job to inform you of things. But to be honest, if you really need to
You have no place of informing people on things when you clearly don't know about the subject you're talking about, just because you've talked to people who are also misinformed about the subject.
Yeah. Like you can't use your like what is it? He's not like suspending his disbelief, right? Like he can't use that as like a matter of fact.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how many... I've known, like, at least a couple people that have recommended me this video before, and not until now did we finally decide to actually watch it. And now I can understand why. This is so wildly misinformed, with the arrogance that goes past, like, freaking Homelander, with how much this guy thinks that he's capable of informing the public on issues. But it's clearly, like, he's one of the few people on the internet that actually believes in what he's talking about and thinks that he's actually informing the audience, when most of his comment section, like, he has to, like, create this entire freaking, like, pinned comment to address some of them.
And, like, to also throw in, like, little personal, like, jabs. Like, dog, I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to a dude that says oomphy little kitten. Like, I'm sorry, like...
Oomphy little kittens says stuff like, I shall become more powerful than you can ever imagine, wahahaha, at the very end.
Yeah, bro. Like you speak, I don't know, man. Like you actually have like negative aura. Like
I feel like your Discord server, if it was revealed to the public, you'd be on a watch list.
He doesn't have a
exactly. It can't be revealed to the public.
Yeah.
No shot.
So you can all join eventually. No one's gonna enjoy this video, bro, because it's you ranting and literally crashing out on YouTube because power scalers have ruined your life, evidently.
Entire documentary of counter-arguments to believe that anime physics isn't real physics, then you're simply a lost cause. It ain't my job to save you. There's no real-world logical excuse to include attack potency in the story. And I use the negative term excuse because that is what it is. It's an excuse. Attack potency is lazy writing. Imagine in the first Star Wars movie, there's this really tense scene where they're on the massive moon-sized space station, and Darth Vader gives the order to fire the massive laser beam at the planet Alderaan, and Stormtroopers are like clicking the switch, this parallel, one blah 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 blah, and it's charging, this zoom, 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 and it hits the planet. And the green light, it lights up the whole sky. It's like, oh my god, what is happening? And then the laser connects, and it hits a single leaf. It hits a little leaf, and the leaf goes up in flames. And that's it. That's all that happens. And the people on the base, the people on the ground, like looking at it, like, whoa, that was like planet annihilating super beam of ultra death. Whoa! If you were an audience back in, remember the Star Wars,
you know what's interesting? Right? Pause it. In that very same movie, in episode 4, there is a line where Darth Vader says, and I quote, "The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant compared to the power of the Force."
Mm-hmm.
Vader and the Emperor do just scale above the Death Star. So, like, your like, weird situation is already canon.
Yeah.
I can feel the soy through the screen.
Oh, my lordy.
And... I get that some people are lost because he is just simply ranting. He there's no structure to the video. He's just simply spitballing whatever is coming up to his head, and he's making a completely uninformed video that is just all over the place and has no like consensus like point to it. And again, as we've already talked about, this title is misleading and is not being answered right now.
No.
And they saw that. They'd be like, what in the name of God was that? What does that mean? Is this some weird surreal movie? What was that meant to be metaphorical? What was that?
Also, if the laser just hits a leaf and it doesn't destroy the planet, it sounds like a really strong leaf, bro.
Yeah.
Sounds like the laser is only leaf level. If it isn't able to like literally pierce through the leaf and then affect the planet as a result.
Yeah, that leaf's just stronger than you, bro. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's okay. The leaf can't hurt you, bro.
The leaf can't hurt you.
And it's really funny because what I just described happens all the time, mainly in anime. They'll be like, oh, he's charging the Ultra Giga Death Dragon Lord of Prophecy beam. Whoa! And then
he freaking shows Mastar Media's really terrible traced animation of them fighting.
Man, it's so bad.
Oh my lord!
And you'll like sell fire a little bit. Maybe you'll get
pause real fast. I wonder if Pins' ears are ringing because we're talking about trace.
Yeah, his ears are ringing. The phone. The phone is ringing.
and then nothing else will happen. And it's so fun. People just become desensitized to the whole topic. If you haven't really got deep into these communities, and you watch a lot of anime and maybe read comics or whatever, do some nerdy stuff, imagine you have to do a little bit of that if YouTube recommended this video to you, and you've probably consumed media where this trope happens. But a lot of the time you just don't notice it, and I don't know if it's because we've actually become completely desensitized to it, or maybe, I don't know, social media has ruined our brains, because it's so mad. Because if you tried doing that in the 80s, you wouldn't get away with it. You would have to animate that planet exploding, or people would be very confused. I guess
no,
the big
pause
point
again.
No, you haven't lived in the 80s, bro. You look like you're in your early 20s. How do you know what it was like in the 80s?
There are plenty of verses from earlier than that are like these like really strong. Like there are uni plus arguments for pre-crisis Superman. Like, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, like how
what?
many times do they mention the Big Bang in pre-crisis? Like
all the time,
several times over. Like this guy's.
It's actually debatably an outer feat. Because, like, the Big Bang in DC is sometimes supposed to be, like, the creation of, well, creation. Well.
Oh, wow, yeah.
What I make here today is what is the point of making every single one of your characters cosmically powerful if that power is going to have no effect on the story, no effect on the visuals, and no effect on the world building? If your characters are never, ever...
What, like, story are you even talking about where them being that powerful has no effect on the story whatsoever? Like, what? It's just like you're mentioning this, and it's not in relation to anything else.
Show their true power. And what was the point of making every single one of them as powerful as Superman? What is the point? What does it add to the story if it isn't in the story? All Attack Potency does is add inconsistencies, and it blue balls the audience because it's basically...
No, you're the only one that is caring about that right now, and as you admitted in the very start of this video, that everyone has grasped this concept and is fine with it, except for you. No one else is getting confused by this than you and the other schmucks on the internet that all they want to do is see the planet blow up or characters literally going at the speed of light.
This guy's sitting in the cuck chair while everybody's having fun, and he's like saying, "No, you can't do that."
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. I want to see the planet exploding. Ugh.
This guy's scared of fun.
He's scared of fun, yeah.
100%.
saying, "Yo, my new character is so strong, you can split entire galaxies in half, bro. Wow, that's awesome. Can I see it?" No, writers, if you're not willing to showcase the level of power a character has, if you're not willing to showcase the effects and repercussions of that power, then there was literally no point in giving your characters that level of power. I mean, even from like a very lowbrow, you're not trying to get super deep, you're not trying to make it super...
almost like characters mention the consequence of them losing will result in the destroying of something, and because they ended up winning the battle, resulted in that like thing not getting destroyed. Sounds like there was stakes that meant like the characters were afraid because that character might actually destroy all of that, like that area, and so in order to prevent him from doing that, they had to defeat him. Like, why would you? It's like, obviously, you have to like talk about the character being that powerful, but obviously, unless the characters lose, you can't demonstrate that, like, the character is capable of being able to destroy all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there are instances where characters can become as powerful as that without literally destroying the planet. For instance, like you can create like planetary levels of energy via doing other things. I mean, like people like to talk about with Dragon Ball, like how the explosion of Namek in the anime can be calced at like multi-solar system because of how much the explosion lights up the galaxy alone. Like, you can get to those levels without having to literally destroy the very thing that the tier is named after.
Mm-hmm.
A complex system, you just want some fun, dumb action. Well, what was the point of saying, oh yeah, this...
Someone said, I drew this guy as a Sojak, the face of anti-scale. Please, please, dude, I need you to, if you actually did draw that, I need you to join my server right now, and I need you to send that in the general chat. Please.
That's actually fire.
And I will post that on the stream.
Yeah, put it in like the top left corner.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Surfbone, I've depicted myself as a Chad and you as a Soy Jack.
No. No, you know what will happen? Because this guy's face has been perpetually on the screen for 80% of this video so far, I'm just gonna put it right on top of the, like, overlaid on the video.
Soy Jack? Yeah,
I'll
just
put the freaking, like, the Soy Jack meme.
character can blow up the planet if your plan was always to make it like a street level sort of action story. There was literally no point in adding that little tidbit of lore in the dialogue or guidebook or whatever if it was literally going to have no bearing on the story whatsoever. And fans don't use attack potency as an excuse for lazy writing. You can't give writers the attack potency pass, otherwise they will get complacent and you'll get blue balled more often. You'll want, okay, I want this character to like, punch each other with this and smash this.
But why do you care?
Wait, you have to do another trek, because if you remember at the beginning of the video, he was like, oh, well, they're telling Al Ewing he's wrong, or they're telling Gege he's wrong. But now, like, the writers are also wrong?
Yeah.
And that's, like...
Yeah, you're
so
telling
who would be right?
Yeah, like, what happened to you literally saying that you can't tell the author is wrong, and then saying, oh, the author... It's like, you can't let the authors get away with the attack potency excuse, because they'll keep doing it and blue-balling the audience.
This is almost kind of like in the same realm as like what the last guy was like alluding to, where it's like the narrative is wrong, right? The way that like 99% of like the viewers are interpreting it is wrong, and I'm the only one that's right.
There was this there's this old thread where like the style of argument would be made, and basically it would devolve down to, if you want to scale somebody, they have to like react to the same feat. And this guy, I think it was for Hulk, they just pointed out how like the same feats will get like tanked by Thor. And they're like, yeah, I dug through the comics and you're still wrong. And then the guy deleted his post because he realized he was being a dummy. Like, this argumentation is super bad faith, because it only ever results in someone doing the research and still proving you wrong.
Yeah.
Someone said he has the logic of a caveman. He wants to see the Ooga Booga big explosion, big boom.
Wait till he finds out you can't represent anything above like multi-galaxy with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Kitty?
I love how we're halfway through the
more than halfway, bro.
Well,
yeah,
no, I'm not talking about the video. I'm talking about the Subway Surfers compilation.
Oh.
It's at 32 minutes right now.
I forgot about that. Who's actually watching that? W. He's like, I don't give a damn about
explosive
this.
Dragon Ball, just mindless, awesome nonsense. The writers won't give you that if you give them an excuse not to give you that. I'd say DC and Marvel Comics are probably the most guilty of the attack potency concept. Each comic universe has like 1,000 planet busters on it, and nobody on the planet really gives much of a shit. Sometimes they kind of point it out, but you really think that every single week there are literally thousands of planet-destroying entities just beating the ever-loving shit out of each other. It's just, and it's sometimes it's like every single day there are stories where they're like characters, oh man, I hate you, and they're just going out like Hulk versus Thor, getting into fights like just every single goddamn day, and the government is like, well, it just is what it is, I guess. And all of this, mate.
Actually,
do you know the consequence of having your characters actually destroy the planet as the result of them fighting? Do you know what that does? It destroys the thing that they're literally standing on, and where the story is literally taking place, bro. You really, you are so fucking blue-balled by, like, apparently Dragon Ball not showing you the Ooga Booga big explosion that you're just like, we want to see the feats. Don't let the authors do this to you, bro. Don't let them get away from this excuse. We want to see big boom boom.
There's a point in Secret Wars, in 2015 Secret Wars, where the, what's his face? I think it's the Maestro. He, like, accumulates all the different versions of Worldbreaker Hulk from across the multiverse, and he has them all attack, like, God King Doom's castle. And they get off-screen because they didn't matter. Because, like, they weren't going to destroy the planet because Doom was keeping it together. And the real big threat was T'Challa with his Infinity Gauntlet. Like, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I forgot about Secret Wars.
It's a good comic. It was written by, what's his face? Oh, I forgot his name. He wrote Time Runs Out, too. Hickman. I forgot what his name is. John Hickman, there we go. Really good comic. I suggest you read it. Every man that has a Glock in his home doesn't need to murder. Yeah, that's. I mean, I have one. Man, I think everybody should.
Yeah.
Sisters, misters, and non-binary soul shifters leads to the ultimate consequence of attack potency, and that is power means nothing. Planet buster, galaxy buster, universe annihilator. These words don't mean anything anymore. They don't fill you with some cosmic awe.
We just knocked off another box in the Bing Pro, boys. It doesn't matter.
According to him, based on what he said, if you have someone who's like Uni Plus from 1979, they're actually Uni Plus. but if it's in the 80s or after, it just magically doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, like his power scaling is dated.
It's literally like these authors were like pure and cool, but then like the fans corrupted them. Like no, like shut the fuck up, dude.
We're really close to bingo because we're just missing guidebooks are all hyperbolic.
What do I get when we get a bingo?
Good question.
Dude, we're like 3/4 of the way into the video. He still hasn't addressed the title.
The thing is, I would do the it's up to the author thing, considering what he said earlier. But then he ultimately contradicts himself by saying that the author can be wrong, but by saying that you can't let them get away with the attack potency excuse. Because they'll just keep overly using it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to use the Stanley video, because of what he said previously. Hey, sir, imagine what Plato would say to this guy.
Bro, Plato wouldn't say anything. He'd probably just flex on him.
He probably would just... No, you know what Plato would do? He would just grab him in a suplex and just freaking suplex him.
Yeah. He just beat his ass.
Yeah, he would just beat his ass.
He would, yeah.
It's like, hit the fucking gym.
Cite Eldritch Dread or invoke bombastic gravitas. They're just labels. Labels you can slap onto anything, like big numbers in an RPG game. That doesn't actually change the visuals or the graphics or how you affect the characters in the story, other than it's a bigger number now, so the enemies with bigger numbers you can defeat. And it's gotten really bad because this has been going on for a while.
Alright, sorry, pause again. I'm trying to pause him too fast. But you kind of conceded, because in an RPG, you are doing more damage, right? It's just that the visuals don't look different. So he's agreeing that you are stronger. It's just that it doesn't look that way.
Yeah.
What a regard.
Onto every single character and their grandmas. We've become so completely and utterly desensitized to ultimate power itself that the entire concept of infinite strength is as meaningless to us as any completely bog-standard, run-of-the-mill, non-applicable word in the English language. You could say the word hello, and it means as much as infinite, omnipotent, cosmic power. It's just completely empty at this point. Power...
This is like the most massive strawman I've ever heard in this entire video.
Yeah.
That he's like, we've like desensitized the whole idea of characters being strong to the point where any word just could mean infinite high levels of omnipotence, like the word hello. And it's just like, this is the biggest amount of cope I've ever seen from an anti-power scaler, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This video should just be called Cope. Like, why I'm still coping from power scaling beating my ass on Twitter. Oh, man.
Power Scaler is able to slap terms like Universe Buster onto characters in even street-level stories because the whole concept of power has become completely meaningless to them. They wank characters into higher and higher stratospheres, like drug addicts, taking higher and higher doses until they feel what they felt on their first hit. To Power Scalers, the Doomslayer, who uses guns to kill demons, being able to blow up infinity universes with a single punch makes sense to them because the footage of Doomslayer you're seeing right now means nothing to them because power isn't a visual thing or something to incite within you feelings of explosive grandeur, a cosmic power level. It's just a label you can tackle to anything. But luckily, enjoyers of big boom fight scenes, we can eat good. You just have to find the right stories. And I think the best writer for very accurately showcased high levels of power would be one. In Mob Psycho 100, the actual...
Oh, but he shows one. He talks about one specifically. Like...
I don't understand this. Like what happens in an example where like character A literally blows up a planet on panel, right? And then in the next chapter gets like shot in the head with like a gun. Like, hold on. Like what do you explain in that sense? Like I want to know his answer to that.
I need to.
He also forgets that there is a scene in Doom Eternal where, like, there's a scene in Doom Eternal where, like, the BFG does just blow a hole into the surface of Mars, like, casually.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. This video's cheeks too. This might be worse than the last guy. This is worse than the last guy.
Yeah.
Really worse.
Yeah.
How did? Let's see. I'm looking up a particular image. I'm trying to find. Let's see if I can find it somewhere.
I don't think we'd ever be able to get this guy in call. He'd be scared.
I don't know if I want to talk to him. He seems like kind of a dummy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd just be yelling at him for 30 minutes and he'd cry.
Yeah.
I guess this one will work for now. To everyone who's looking at the screen right now. Why didn't this just actually wipe off the surface of the planet? Why did it only just disperse some clouds? Like why? Why did it only do this?
Yeah.
Why didn't the planet explode when like Saitama punched the freaking death beam that was going to wipe away the surface of the planet? Why did it only just disperse some clouds? Like, if you're going to keep up with this like level of argument, you gotta be consistent, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Level of raw power the characters have. It's, it is pretty big, from a real standpoint. If you've got guys blowing up buildings with single attacks, that would be concerning in real life. Compared to like a lot of comic and anime characters, how powerful they're supposed to be. And Mob Psycho 100 is actually pretty tame, but the level of animation and detail in the just sheer bombastic boom-booms of every single feat of these characters makes them feel way more powerful than all the generic lackluster art anime characters punching each other through entire poorly rendered mountains. Like there's this one scene in Mob Psycho 100 where the main character gets really fucking pissed and he like pushes a guy into the sky and he launches him back down for a building, and the building is impacted with such speed and ferocity that it begins to act like a liquid. It's like that's actually what happened. That's actually a scientific thing. Think about
why didn't why did the building explode? Why did only
part of it, yeah.
Like why did only some freaking glass break as a result of him throwing him back into the building? Like when this shit was like
it's really fucking pissed.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why did the building explode, bro? It's Big Boom Boom. Why did the building go boom?
Yeah.
Why did only
there was like a corner of it that blew up.
Oh look, it only made a small crater.
Oh no, not small crater
not
level.
Small crater. No.
Oh, but the visuals, but the boom boom.
But the visuals, the graphics, they don't display what's actually being destroyed on the screen.
Oh no,
Psycho 100 is the perfect example of seeing Big Boom Boom happen on screen that you don't often see in other anime. But it's not like Dragon Ball actually has the earth exploding in one of the arcs, or literally in the anime, Goku punches away a blast that Frieza literally hurtles at him, and then that resulting blast after he punches away destroys a planet as a result of that.
He definitely didn't see that, don't worry.
No, he didn't.
Also, remember, I was thinking about it too, when in the Resurrection of F, right? Where Frieza just has his hand on Earth, blows it up, right? Yeah. And then when they have it returned back and Goku blasts him away, why didn't Goku's blast blow up the Earth?
Yeah.
Oh, but it blew up Frieza. So I don't know. Who am I? I'm just a power
That's
scaler.
That's actually a scientific thing. Think about it. Hypervelocity projectiles, when they hit solid objects, they can cause the solid objects.
He only created a crater. He's just a normal human. Why did he not die as a result of that impact, bro? He's a normal human.
I think
don't
that
real physics matter in anime?
I think if Alex Pereira punched a wall, he'd make a bigger crater than that.
Facts, yeah. Yeah, that dude should have splat on the wall.
Yeah, he should have went.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Oh.
No, instead he went.
You know how it's so easy. It's so easy to just apply this dude's same logic against him when it's so inconsistent, and he doesn't know how we could just apply it to the series that he loves and thinks that are such perfect examples, when we could just point out the exact same absurdities that he just has not even considered under his own methodology.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Francis Ngannou punches stronger than a sledgehammer swung by a bear at 1,000 miles per hour.
He's right. He is right.
That is facts.
You know what? Open up a new tab.
You know what?
Open up a new tab.
Francis Ngannou would create a much bigger crater than that. And he would be paced.
All right, so I've received a message from an informant by the name of Seldoon, and he said, quote, Noodles is gay. That is all. Or Surfbone is gay. My bad. My dyslexia.
No.
Noodles
The first statement was correct. The first statement was correct. He read it out as it was intended to be read. The author doesn't matter.
You just threw Noodles under the bus, bro.
So dude is gay indeed.
Oh man.
Just God damn it.
Man, that was a great fumble, bro.
It's not even a fumble, that's like
that was just a better result. Like
let's keep watching.
Yeah.
Even something solid as rock and steel.
Oh wait. Sorry, one more pause. Is it quote, Hashi saw the word gay and instantly associated it with noodles.
Yes, you know, there's some secret intention behind that. He read it as it was meant to be interpreted. He knew that I wasn't gay the whole time. It was, in fact, noodles.
I could drop some Surfbone lore on the stream right now, but I'm not going to.
They don't want my screenshots, bro.
Yeah, I was about to
say. They don't want my screenshots, bro. I'll get him canceled
There are
right
no
now.
screenshots.
There are.
There are none.
I'll get him canceled right now.
See how it becomes molten and just tension in its molecular bonds. You feel it and it bursts and it's just, it's so good. And then you also have
it's so good!
One Punch Man, the power levels actually do get pretty high.
Look at it go! Look at the wind! It's so powerful!
It's just vaporizing entire city blocks, and they launch a massive punch and splits the sky, and they're like, no, I'm going to annihilate. When Boros, right? He says, I'm going to...
How is he alive? He's a normal human.
Yeah, he's a normal human. He's a normal human, by the way.
How did he survive that? The ground literally exploded beneath him. You know what happens when some random Iraqi soldier just comes across a landmine in the middle of nowhere? They exploded to paste when that happens. How did this dude just randomly survive the ground exploding beneath him with psychic energy?
Kosu's One Nation Army's cooking you now. He said, quote, Kosu got the flop.
Oh no.
Cook.
Damn, I thought he was cool. I thought
Alright. This isn't just dogging himself up, I could vaporize your entire plan stuff. Bro probably could, and I respect him, and I believe him, because the amount of power these characters actually show when they get into fights makes you believe the statements as well. So, but
if you go through that fight, he doesn't do anything that impressive. That was always the the most impressive thing in that fight is, the moon jump, if we're going, off Ooga Booga. And the revelation about how OP the moon jump is doesn't come up till later.
Exactly.
When you use statements and lore and guidance.
Wait, no, don't play yet. I was gonna keep going. This kind of shows that he's just biased. He just wants big boom. He doesn't actually care about what's true within the story. It's like a vibes argument.
Yeah. He just wants to get he wants to feel satisfied watching this, right?
I could tell a story from another fandom, but so there was 3 novels released for Warhammer, and they accurately depicted how OP the Emperor and Horus would be, and all the Redditors hated it because they were OP and they didn't like it. And I think this guy would be like a Redditor, and he'd be like, "No, you actually made him OP. You weren't supposed to cave into him." But it's the power scalers already knew they were OP beforehand, so it's what's up?
That's not actually necessarily a bad thing. If you're actually showing the level of power a character has, and then they threaten to show that power, I'm going to wipe out your entire city, that actually increases the threat level. And
so threatening is okay now.
You're telling me that we can use statements about how powerful a character is without them showing it as a means to up the stakes of a fight? What a foreign concept. It's not like you actually contradicted yourself earlier by saying that you want big boom, and if we don't see big boom, then we're just getting the audience is just getting blue-balled as a result, right? Apparently, now is a really good narrative device now.
Wait, which novels are those, Hashi? The End and the Death, Part 1, 2, and 3.
This is why you script and structure your videos, and you have people read them before you just post them on the internet, because then you look like a really inconsistent motherfucker, because you decided just to make an entire video about you ranting
and being a soy jack.
Yeah.
So statements are and can be used to great effect, but you need
Bro,
to show
they're
the
just
power
aura
first.
scaling at this
the true
point.
ramifications of cosmic power and actually showcases this ultimate application of strength. It is truly a spectacle to behold. And the greatest example of this would of course be Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. The final battle in TTGL has two cosmic mechs chucking galaxies at each other. I mean, look at this. Look at it. Dragon Ball characters are supposed to be at this level now, but since their fights are still only mountain busting slugfests, and Dragon Ball characters are not galaxy busters. I don't care.
Wait.
What?
Hold on.
They're not galaxy.
Hold on. Wait. Also, maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, right? But like, doesn't the dude like jump out and like punch the guy?
I haven't watched the movie, so
like at the end of it, like at the end of all of this, he just like gets smaller and then jumps out and just punches the same dude that was like throwing galaxies. Am I wrong about that? I feel like maybe I might be wrong.
Also, by the same logic, Beerus and Goku threatening to destroy the universe. Yeah, people were saying they're not just galaxies, but that's like the problem with like eyeball scaling, right?
The Broly scene.
So yeah, which Broly scene?
Yeah, they have a fist fight. Yeah, see, like no, I'm not. Like they were just throwing universes, and he jumps out and just punches them. Like what the fuck?
I guess
the story of '90s Dragon Ball. I guess no one cares, Carthy.
He straight boxes him, bro. Like I don't know, man. Like
oh, this one.
Oh no.
The South Galaxy, home to whoever billion people.
Yeah, that's loud as hell.
Yeah. That's like the PlayStation 2 fucking intro.
Yeah, bro.
The galaxy has been shattered by a Super Saiyan.
King Kai's shitting a brick right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's sweat.
Also...
And South Galaxy's like huge.
Kid Buu oh yeah, Kid Buu does it too.
Yeah. Doesn't he go from galaxy to galaxy?
Well, he
No, he goes like planet to planet, yeah.
Many hundreds of planets into worlds of death.
Yeah, and you know, dude, wait, this is perfect. And you know what's crazy? Right? Watch all of this, watch. It's gonna
look at it go! It's going away.
And you know what's crazy? Is that bullets go through him. Like, wild.
Oh, wait, hold on. I just thought of something else. Really early Dragon Ball? Like, really early Dragon Ball? Dude puts his hand up!
Bye-bye.
Big boom! You got your big boom right here, buddy! You got your big boom! Like, dog. Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on.
What does this guy say?
Someone said, okay, first off, we need to finish this fucking video.
Yeah, we do.
So, if all of his fights feel like fights between two mountain busters, then he may as well be just a mountain buster. Giving a character a planet-busting feat every so often, but then using attack potency as an excuse as to why the Earth doesn't explode in every battle is extremely lazy writing. If you don't want the Earth to explode, then don't give every character on the Earth planet-busting power. And if you do give them that power, and it never actually feels that they do have that power, then to the audience, they don't. I think Dragon Ball fights would have been a lot cooler if instead of Goku still only punching people through mountains, he punches through goddamn stars. You can start with mountain stuff in the Saiyan Saga, and then move on to dudes punching each other through planets in the Frieza Saga to the Buu Saga, and then Super have dudes showering stars with every punch, and then galaxies, and then universes, and it escalates and escalates. But if it's going to escalate, at least just do us the favor of showing the escalation, instead of just telling us the characters are cooler now when they're just not. Oh, Dragon Ball, there was kind of a problem, the characters, can't breathe and stuff.
Yeah, because apparently the only way you can apparently enjoy the story is that they're literally destroying multiverses as the result of them fighting.
Yeah.
That says a lot more about you than it does about what is occurring within the story, bro. That unless that they're literally destroying multiverses and universes as the result of them fighting, then you can't enjoy it for some reason. That again says a lot more about you than it does about anybody else.
Yeah. Sorry you're not having fun, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're not having fun.
base. So if they were like punching each other through galaxies, how would they survive? And my solution, I don't know, key control or whatever. Just make up another buzzword, power scalers. You're good at that. And if you're not willing to show the environmental destruction and world-building ramifications of cosmic power, then just keep your fights lower key. The characters don't have to be able to beat Superman in order for their fights to be interesting. Case in point, Miguel versus Robbie in Cobra Kai, Aquaman versus Black Manta in Aquaman, Liu Kang versus Reptile in the Mortal Kombat movie, Spider-Man versus Tombstone in Spectacular Spider-Man, Spike versus that weird psychic man baby in Cowboy Bebop. Big power level does not equal cool or interesting.
Wait, hold on. Wait, is Hashi here right now?
I don't know.
No, he's not. But
yeah,
I know. Wait, hold on. I want Hashi to come back for this portion because it's because of a very specific critique that he hates that these people do, and it's because these fights are much better when it's just revolving around street level characters that don't blow up anything, and that automatically makes it far more digestible and easier to watch. I'm surprised he hasn't brought up characters yet. We're almost done with this video.
All that power is showcased is what matters. The title of this video asks, why do strong characters feel weak? And the Weenie Hut Jr. response to this question is that writers are lazy and Dragon Ball fans are menaces. But the salty
authors are lazy and Dragon Ball fans are menaces. That's the ultimate takeaway from this entire video. Is that Dragon Ball fans have got you so riled up, they made you write a 30-minute video of the most incomprehensible, inconsistent shit I've ever seen produced by somebody who hates power scaling.
Just to label it something different.
Just to label it.
Yeah.
You just catfished the whole video.
Hashi, what you missed...
Yes, I'll take the piss.
What you missed was this guy saying... Actually, let's just go back real quick for what this dude says.
I figured I could get up and I wouldn't miss anything because I'm taking a piss, but alright. Not Black Frieza.
And just keep your fights lower key. The characters don't have to be able to beat Superman in order for their fights to be interesting. Case in point, Miguel versus Robbie in Cobra Kai, Aquaman versus Black Manta in Aquaman, Liu Kang versus Reptile in the Mortal Kombat movie, Spider-Man versus Tombstone in Spectacular Spider-Man, Spike versus that weird psychic man baby in Cowboy Bebop. Big power level does not equal cool or interesting. How that power is showcased is what matters. The title of this video asks, why do...
I figured you'd like that because he's basically showing on screen that's like, you don't have to have power versus power. You could just easily just go into street level characters.
Yeah, but at the same time, what if those characters are also just like 8D? Like what now?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what is he gonna like shit up wreck? Because like grounded fights is now.
The Junior response to this question is that writers are lazy and Dragon Ball fans are menaces. But the salty spittoon coded Giga Chad answer is that if a character doesn't feel strong, then they aren't strong. I don't care what the canon says.
If the character doesn't feel strong.
Wait, no, he's gonna say he doesn't care what the canon says. Well, then I don't care what you
lose
say.
In a fight to Killer Bee.
What? Hold on. We need to back up real quick. And we need to hear this.
Spider-Man, Spike versus that weird psychic man baby in Cowboy Bebop. Big power level does not equal cool or interesting. How that power is showcased is what matters. The title of this video asks, why do strong characters feel weak? And the Weenie Hut Jr. response to this question is that writers are lazy and Dragon Ball fans are menaces. But the salty spittoon coded Giga Chad answer is that if a character doesn't feel strong, then they aren't strong. I don't care what the canon says. Goku would lose in a fight to Killer Bee, and that is a fact you're just going to have to learn to live with, because when it comes to fiction, the only facts that matter are the ones you feel.
The only facts that matter are the ones you feel.
Well, what happens when someone disagrees?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So him saying that just renders this entire video like redundant. Okay, so if it's about how you feel, then I feel you're just wrong, and I feel all the characters I like are strong, are that impressive.
I also disagree with your feelings because your feelings are entirely wrong, and I feel that they are strong, and you just don't know how to read evidence.
And I don't care about what the canon says is crazy, bro.
I don't care what the canon
who says that? What?
He's just so fed up with having to talk to all these people that he thought he could just get away with saying something incredibly edgy at the end. Like, he literally just said, he's like, the big takeaway for this video is, you have the Winnie Hut Jr., answer, which is, Dragon Ball, authors are lazy and Dragon Ball fans are menaces, and then, the salty Splatoon Giga Chad answer to all of this, and then he just goes off of what he said.
Yeah, this
if they don't feel strong, then they aren't strong.
Yeah, no, it's so
feelings.
Like,
you know what? This dude should just start saying that feelings don't care about your facts. Midnight says, yeah.
It's so, bro. Yeah, this video is cheeks. Like, if you just want to enjoy the story for the story, then do that. Like, stay out of the community if it hurts you that bad.
Yeah, honestly.
If you're gonna cry for 30 minutes straight on a video, like, maybe you should just not be in the community.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna stay in the sauna if I'm overheating. Like, just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the you know what also just finished is the Subway Surfers video had also just
yeah.
Fire.
Well,
yo, nice.
Looks like it's time to end the stream then. Yep. Subway Surfers is over, chat.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Subway Surfers
oh no. Over. Bye-bye ADHDers.
By the way.
Oh, facts don't care about your feelings, Shen Bapiro. That's funny.
He just ends. Yeah, Shen Bapiro.
This guy would poop the bed when he hears about all these these strong characters that are from like novels and stuff.
He basically turned his entire video into nothing because he ultimately says it's up to your feelings, meaning nothing here holds any weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He debunked himself.
He literally did.
Yeah.
Also, I saw something someone said in that chat.
This also just kind of like this is literally what I said earlier about like the last guy too. Is like he doesn't really care about what other people think. Like he just thinks he's the only one that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been beaten enough in debates and like on Reddit to the point that he doesn't really care to listen to anybody else's interpretation at all.
Yeah.
He's already invested too much like blood, sweat, and tears into a VC chat. Like,
hold on.
How would he react to the Cthulhu mythos? He doesn't. He'd cry.
Yeah.
He'd tear up at like the cover art.
Hold on. Need to. Someone said something about Swag Kage calling out Noodles in Twitter, and I didn't see.
No, he said that Swag Kage uploaded called Noodles.
Oh, that's the upload.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's like Naruto is an underdog. I don't know why we need to react to that.
Yeah.
It's not a versus matchup, so
mm-hmm.
I don't know why we need to react to that. No, that's not the one. Where's chat? There it is. Okay.
The Dark Tower would have him in a hospital. I mean, maybe. I think the most shocking thing about Dark Tower is the kid orgy in one of the books. I mean, that shit just came out of nowhere. Like, I don't know why Stephen King put that in there. For those who don't know, there's like a kid orgy in a sewer in one of the Dark Tower books. It just comes out of nowhere.
Oh, sorry?
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah.
What? Ew.
Yeah,
that was in Dark
Stephen
Tower?
King was like...
I thought that was in the It book.
That is Dark Tower.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
You're saying he's out of comprehension, yet I can clearly comprehend the words.
I've seen someone actually make that argument before.
That shit is funny.
Okay. I think we'll start ending the stream here in a bit. Mm-hmm. So if anyone has I'll give it like 3 minutes if anyone wants to ask like some last minute questions before we end the stream.
Mm-hmm. Mainly ask about Surfbone's personal life.
No.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
No.
And it's private information. I'd be able to give it to you. Don't worry.
No. I will be able to give it to you. Stop.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Brain is hurting, but it's been fun.
Brain hurty.
Brain hurty. That's what happens whenever this guy doesn't see Big Boom on the screen. Brain hurty.
Brain hurty.
Brain hurty. I want. How can characters say they're capable of destroying something without actually destroying it on screen so that my brain can comprehend? They are actually speaking the truth.
I mean, I feel like for this guy, it's just like, I think it's just easier for his mind to like that. Like that's all his brain has the capacity for, right? Like it's just convenient for him to be able to reject things that are too complicated to understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of every anti-power scaler. It's better to just go into complete and utter denial than to just face the music and be like, you know what? I'm just not going to talk to these people anymore, and I'm going to power scale on my own and have my own opinions, and I'm not going to let anybody affect them.
And like honestly, that's why I don't respect him. Like, because he just doesn't even like try to understand. It's just easier for him to like reject it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, well, like then I don't need to listen to you. Like,
look, I'm going to say this. If anyone here happens to know this guy personally, has his information on Discord, I may be willing to talk to him in a very cordial conversation about his opinions on power scaling, attack potency, and whatnot. And
I'm not making any promises.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm willing. I'm willing to yell at the guy in VC.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna cut a promo.
But I'm extending that hand out to him that if he actually ever wants to have like a meaningful conversation about exactly what he tried to cover in this video, we can talk about it.
No. But if he says like "oomphy little kitten" like in call, I'm
my oomphy little kitten hands.
He's getting booted.
I just came across Hashi's stream, setting up a stream, and it's just me fiddling with like Kosu's character on the cut chair.
Wait, what? Where?
Yeah, I tweeted it out like, what was that? I'll 3 hours ago.
That's funny.
I'll post it in here.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. He seems petty. Yeah, honestly.
Very.
Okay. Well, I think the stream's been long enough. We've been going for over 3 hours now.
Yep.
At some point, like, me and Kosa will have to do, like, our own stream in regards to, like, a bunch of, like, the Fire Force stuff.
Yeah, we plan to react to a whole bunch of, like, the scaling takes that people have, like, posted over the last, like, 2 years since I've been gone. So, because, yeah. Like, dude, it's people have some hot ass takes, bro. It's ridiculous. Like, emphasis on ass.
Emphasis on ass.
Indeed.
Yeah, that shit's smelly, bro. So, if you guys are like wanting to tune in for that, by all means. Yep. I think we'll probably. I want to do it sometime this week for sure. So, like, maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Also, Turner, Wednesday or Thursday. You are indeed the goat of this stream.
Yeah, he is, bro.
Turner is indeed the goat of this stream. Bar none.
I knew you were a good guy when you had the pinhead.
Yeah, he had the pinhead. Can anyone dethrone him? I'll give you 30 seconds to dethrone him right now. Can anyone dethrone Turner right now? He's like given over $20. Can anyone?
Fact.
Can anyone do it?
I doubt it. No, I doubt it.
30 seconds have started. Can anyone dethrone Turner for the goat of the stream?
Benny Mara over pre-Boncho Man Shinra. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably, he could be above like Boncho Man too. But I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you shit.
Nah, Kosu, when someone asks for the Benimaru scale, what you should have done is like, nah, the Benimaru video was posted a while ago. You guys just haven't found it yet. I make sure to put it all in one place.
Yeah. I like uploaded it on like another YouTube channel. You guys just don't know.
Yeah, you haven't found it yet, chat. And that's been 30 seconds. Turner is the go to the stream.
Oh, that'd be funny. Upload it on like another channel and make
and Turner comes in with the $5.
Oh shit!
Right before we end the stream.
Everybody else is cooked.
Oh, y'all are cooked, bro. Y'all are cooked. Turner is upping his power level right now.
Yeah, he's only street level though,
he's only street level.
According to what's his face.
Because the thing is, you know what? He feels strong to me. He feels strong.
He does feel strong.
He feels really strong. I haven't felt that from anybody else in this chat though.
I can argue Benimaru being FTL, but people ain't ready for that, bro. What? Only FTL.
I can argue him being FTL. Oh.
Man.
Oh.
No, don't get me started. I can get him to building level. All right.
Jeez. Okay, we're gonna end the stream, guys. Thank you all for watching. We're in the stream now. Say goodbye, Kosu and Hashi.
Peace out.
Bye.